Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Coming out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 75. Hello there, I'm your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill, and joining me today is BT Calloway.
Yo.
And new guest, Catherine McDonnell.
Hello.
How you doing, Catherine?
Good.
Welcome to the Simpsons Index, the podcast where we watch and review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time, but the catch is, each episode comes from a different decade. Now, you've been a Simpsons fan for all your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I literally cannot remember not having Simpsons in my life. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sort of like a cool kids, you know. Oh, the grown-ups watch this and I can watch it too. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like you're born, there's mum, dad, and The Simpsons.
Yeah. I can tell you all of my life key moments, you know, what episode was happening. Oh, yeah, I remember when, you know, started high school.
So what are some of the favourite episodes that have been with you through the years?
Oh, anything Lionel Hutz.
Yep.
I love Lisa the Vegetarian.
Yep.
I love Lisa and Bart at the army camp. That will
Yeah.
get me to
Yeah.
cry every
We
time.
just did that one, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
reviewed that 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Love that episode. Yeah. I think anything where Bart and Lisa are doing something together,
Yeah.
I'm going to love
They are
that.
some of the most fun episodes,
So-
absolutely.
Yeah, one of my favourites from that is where they're trying to get Itchy and Scratchy back on the air.
Oh, I love that.
And they find the solution only to find they've been snaked underneath by Eliza and Brat or someone. So where did you give up on the show, though, conversely?
Oh, well, 100% it was the Lady Gaga episode. But before that, I think maybe the movie.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed in it. And then I just sort of stopped going out of my way to watch it. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And
Yeah. That may have killed more dreams than, like, Phantom Menace.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, now that I've said that, I know I'm wrong.
Yeah, because the Simpsons movie isn't so much bad. It's just a bit bland, and it's also a bit too little too late.
Yeah, for something that was coming out forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was
It's
a
the
bit
Chinese democracy of movies.
Don't remind me of that album. So, kicking off the Simpsons Index podcast today, we just watched a HD era episode. This was season 26, episode 20, Let's Go Fly a Coot. It was written by Jeff Westbrook, and what's the pun? I don't get it.
Let's go fly a kite.
Ah,
It's bad.
Did Dutch
Like,
people like kites? Like, what's the pun there? What?
Yeah, I think fly a coot because Grandpa is in the Air Force
Oh, yeah,
now.
there we go.
And
Yeah.
he's a coot, waka waka.
it was first released in May of 2015, and it was written by Jeff Westbrook in this episode. It's really confusing, the whole
So many things.
the whole grandpa flying in the Air Navy storyline. It's actually hard to summarize, but also Bart meets Milhouse's hot Danish cousin who introduces him to
Yeah.
e-cigarettes. Guys, what did you think?
Okay, just to give you an idea, I put a little square on next to my notes whenever it was a note relating to a plot point. There are 7. There are 7 plot turns in this.
Yeah. And it doesn't really fall like dominoes because they're so, like, tenuously
It's like
linked.
if you've ticked up an unrelated domino and threw it at someone else's pile of dominoes. It's, oh, wow.
I've just written I hate birthdays now and veterans.
Okay, wow. This
Yep.
is just ruined life.
Ruined birthdays and veterans. Though,
That's
Two
isn't
of
gonna-
my favourite things.
That's going to ruin your business is throwing birthdays for veterans.
Oh,
it? The birthdays for veterans of unpopular wars.
Quick, what's a pun name for that?
Oh, God.
Birthdays for Veterans Company. We'll get there.
So, BT, just starting out the questionnaire, what's a moment from the story that stood out to you?
Oh, Jesus.
Or better or worse?
I'm going to go as positive as I can and start with our very beginning, which is Milhouse's birthday party, which I've written, and I've never said this before, his party was lit. I think I'm using that correctly. I'm not sure.
Well, if you were writing it down, you would have drawn 3 fire emojis, but you're getting close, old man.
Oh, I just wrote it all in capitals. See, this is how I know I'm past my prime. I didn't write any emojis. Yeah, but I like the joke where, they've got rented chairs, the kind with padding, and it kind of cuts to the chairs, and there's I think I missed Dr. Hibbert's wife, who's just like relaxing, like, oh my gosh, this is so relaxing. Yeah, and God, we go horrible places from there. So that's my positive.
Yeah, Milhouse's birthday, not a bad way to enter into an episode. It doesn't really make sense that he'd have all these elaborate things. His family haven't ever been, like, super rich or anything.
Well, we do imply Kirk mortgaged the house for it, so.
Yeah, and I think they're just trying to make this big commentary on elaborate kids' birthday parties, and this is one of those things where you're like, okay, rich Simpsons writers, life isn't like this for everybody.
I just wish they'd picked a different kid.
Yeah?
Like,
Yeah,
to have
it
that.
feels-
Like, how would Kurt, like, no.
Yeah,
There
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sherry and Terry.
Yeah.
Just someone else.
Yeah, actually, Sherry, someone that we don't actually know a lot about. Because when we watched the episode when Nelson had the party, that made a lot of sense because his mother won a lawsuit and, you know, this is the character you'd least expect, so he wanted to go all out. And
Yeah, no, that made sense. And in this, it's just, okay, Milhouse is a selfish brat now. Okay, neat.
Yeah, I want the cheese to be cut in Smurfs, not Muppets, whatever the fuck it was.
Pokemon, and he's like, no, I thought you said Muppets. Like, that was the meeting before. Yeah, ooh, there's a lot of problems.
That was when I knew, I'm going to hate this.
Wow, you have a good sense of that.
There was a few okay-ish gags in this, like the whole slide that looked like his head and the CD of the Gay Men's Chorus singing songs for Milhouse or something.
Yeah, that's cute.
When they're having conversation and their couple of kids are dragging like Milhouse Dragon along in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Okay visuals, but like...
Well, okay, I'm going to immediately destroy my own positive, is then Homer gets it into his head that he needs to destroy birthdays. This launches plot number 1. But he doesn't do it for any reason. It's not...
No.
If Bart and Lisa had come running up to me going, Dad, can we have this at our birthday? Can we have that? It would have been, okay, this is why he wants to destroy birthdays, so he doesn't have to pay for one. But he just goes, it's my mission now. Like, why?
Yeah, it comes out straight out of left field. Like, what?
But he also, like, talks himself into it over a long time, and it's just exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, what's a moment from the story, for better or worse, that stood out to you?
The worst, jumping to when Abe's Air Force people come.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him sort of doing that's the military, when I was in the Marines, when they'd say, but you were in the Navy, you were in the Army.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
kind of mistakes happen when you're in the Marines.
And I thought, I enjoy that. And then they did that, you're a sad nag gag where Homer like fed him the carrot and then like pulled him away. And
Like,
it
it
just
started, he started, the glory days when you were a stallion, but now you're a sad nag. And then Grandpa goes, and it's like, okay, but that was it. Leave it there. And then they go into, he feeds him a carrot and he rolls him along by his bolo tie like it's rain.
Like the worst of sort of a Family Guy thing. And I was just like, what is this for?
Yeah, it's funny because he's a horse. No, come on. And what bothered me about that whole thing is there is really nothing to connect the whole Air Force and birthday parties thing, and they do it by this tenuous link of, and this is the moment of the story that stood out to me, of the fucking
Big birthday.
Big birthday, thank you. Yeah. And that whole rant which went on.
Yeah, I literally wrote down, who is this guy? Was this like a famous actor?
No, this wasn't even one of the guest stars.
It's just, why are we spending like 2 whole minutes listening to this guy go on about the importance of birthdays? Like, you could cut half of that and then we'd be fine. There's one good bit where it's like, America doesn't make cars or computers anymore. We make birthdays. And like, that would be enough. Leave that. That's everything else. Get it out of there.
And like, that's a fine enough joke. You know, that reminds me of like 30 Rock, where Jack's trying to get that couch built with American work. And he's like, what happened to my couch? This is horrible. And he's like, they only train us to make games on Survivor now. But yeah, this one, the whole big birthday rant, and that it was all an elaborate thing to have him do Rod's birthday that he has at the Air Force base. Like, what?
Opera of nothing. Like, at least get a line about how Rod loves planes or something because it brings him closer to God. There.
Yeah,
there's a
boom.
line.
There's your link that is a lot less tenuous now.
So they just said make it magical, so I'm thinking, okay, where's this going? Like a wizard thing?
Yep.
And then Air Force? What? Like, how's that magical?
Yeah. It's very technically explainable. There's no magic about the Air Force. Anyway, so much anger. Play count. How many times before today have you seen this episode?
Today was the first, thank merciful God.
First time seeing it too.
Yeah, I think this is like the 3rd time I've seen it. You know, I actually remember the e-cigarette storyline more than the other one because, like, at least the e-cigarette thing feels like there's an arc there. The grandpa story is just messy.
Yeah, it just wanders from room to room yelling at things.
It really does. And then it becomes about his flashback about meeting Mona as well, which is also really messy.
Yeah, well, it goes so many places. So, yeah, you're at the Air Force base, and then this plane lands, and all these old Air Force guys get off, and they knew Grandpa, and it's like, okay, so we have another plot line. That's great.
Yeah.
And then at the same point, that's when we get introduced to Milhouse's cousin, who I didn't even remember picking up her name.
Annika.
And I wrote down, another plot point! Another one!
So, may as well get into it now. The guest stars of the episode, Glenn Close returned to play Mona in this very short sequence.
You wasted Glenn Close.
I know.
I'm angry now. I'm wounded.
It was close. They also had Jessica Lovejoy in this episode. At least they didn't waste Meryl Streep. But also playing Annika was Game of Thrones' Carice Van Houten.
Oh, I thought so. I thought it was Melisandre.
Yeah.
I was like, what other Dutch person is there? So, of course, it was going to be.
Thank you for that, because I didn't know how to pronounce that name either. So you're a big Game of Thrones fan as well?
Yeah, massive, yeah.
Okay. Beaches as well. I have not seen an episode yet.
What?
Yep.
What do you do? You have an unfulfilling life, I'll tell you that.
There are boobies and violence.
I know, but I was watching Breaking Bad for the 5th time and I still haven't seen it yet. No, I think my plan is to watch it all when it's all done and dusted. Yeah.
Instead of like us saps who have to wait 2 years for the last season. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought she did a decent enough job.
Yeah, I think she was, as far as guest stars that are boring characters go, great job.
Yeah, what did you guys think about the whole Bart e-cigarette storyline anyway?
Well, they've done it before when Lisa took up smoking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, actual smoking, which is ballerina.
Oh, yeah. But I guess because they didn't have Lisa actually have a cigarette in that episode, and because, as they said, laws on e-cigarettes aren't well defined yet, they were able to have Bart smoking, vaping.
But that's the thing, it wasn't really about Bart smoking. It was half about Bart smoking and half about his relationship with this new person, but neither one felt like the main focus.
It was like both storylines felt like throwaways. Like,
yeah,
just think of something, we'll fix it in post. Like,
yeah, and if it had been about maybe he gets addicted to e-cigarettes or something, but he doesn't, he just gives them up immediately whenever he wants to, and then maybe it's about his relationship with this person, but she's going to leave, and it's not about that either, and it's just, okay, so this was about two half things that did not make a whole.
Yeah, there wasn't ever really a struggle, was there? Because especially when he gave them up, it was apropos of nothing. He just dropped the e-cigarettes at the airport and said, hey, fuck you, lady, and then left. Like, he didn't struggle with having them, and the only point where Marge found out and it was a problem, it just cut to an outbreak with Maggie blowing smoke rings.
Mm-hmm.
And Marge didn't even seem to really care that much. Just, you can't protect your children.
Yeah, she's like, it's legal. Well, and kids these days. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, which sucked. And then Grandpa's whole story about the whole war thing was meant to give Bart advice about this. Yeah, this episode is so unfocused and dumb.
I enjoyed the turtle sweeping. I'm not going to lie about that. I had a bit of a chuckle at that.
I did also like that bit.
Yeah, well, that leads into the wackiness of this episode. So yeah, Grandpa's job in the Air Force used to be sweeping up turtles from the runway. He'd get the job done a lot sooner if he just picked them up, though.
But they feel weird. And then I do later, he puts a towel over it before he picks it up so he doesn't have to directly touch it. Yeah, turtles, that was okay.
Yeah. So what were some of the other wacky moments from the episode? Some of the cartoony things that happened?
The Jack Kerouac scene where my rambling first draft and I was just like, well...
So I'm not much of a reader in that I can't read. So who is Jack Kerouac and what is this?
All right. So Jack Kerouac wrote On the Road, which is meant to be a big defining novel of the beatnik generation. Mm. So the published version is one that he wrote on one long spool of paper, and he supposedly wrote it in over the course of 3 days without sleeping.
Right.
What people don't realize is that was actually his 6th draft. Mm-hmm. So he did a bunch of them before that didn't work, and then the one that did work for him is this long rambling thing he did on one big spool of paper. But yeah, in this bit, Grandpa's just standing on the road and hitchhiking, and he walks up and says, I met a young writer, and who's like, thanks for the lift, Jack Kerouac. Here's my polished copy, which I want you to mail for me for some reason, total stranger I just met on this Air Force base.
Yeah.
And here's my long rambling copy. I want you to destroy that. I'm not just going to take myself for whatever reason.
And destroy myself. I'm in a moving car. I could very easily destroy it.
Yep.
You know, unspool it outside the window and then just watch it fly in the desert.
It's just... it makes so little sense. I don't even know how to criticize it other than why is this even here? Other than, we have to show it's the era that it is. Who was popular then? I don't know. Kerouac?
Yeah.
That it genuinely feels like they had a list of how many references they had to have and just threw one in. And was Mona, is that how they met? I feel like she was sort of younger than Abe.
Yeah.
She felt like a hard Mona in this one, a couple of packs of cigarettes in to,
No, I concur. I don't think we've ever gotten an origin story of how they met before.
No, which actually makes me more pissed off at this episode.
Yeah, this is meant to be how it happened.
I just thought he was so straight-laced and, a proper of the era, and she was more sweet and free and, the little wife.
That she was the little housewife until she saw those flowing locks on football on the television.
The other wacky moment that stood out to me was another one of these brain damage jokes that I hate where Grandpa's doing the voiceover and he goes, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was all the LSD they injected me with. And in that very moment, his pupils dilate and like, it's so dumb. And then it's not referenced to again. He's not flying the plane badly because he's high on LSD or anything. It was just for that one moment to say, LSD. And it's not funny.
You know what would have been better? Because in this, he finds out the test plane is dangerous, so he jumps in so the other guy doesn't have to. And he takes off and he goes into the stratosphere and it all disintegrates around him. Have him jump in and think all that's happening because he's having side effects from MK Ultra.
Yep.
And then he's actually just driving the plane around the base, crashing into things. That's a funnier reveal.
Yeah, definitely. Any other wacky moments?
How old is McBain, by the way?
Yeah, I wrote that down. Like in, what was it? Exhaustibles 3, Arthritis Will Unite Us. Like, I thought, why is McBain so old now?
I know, because in that, he's, Schwarzenegger age.
Yeah.
Except I'm sure we've seen him since young again. Yeah. So what's your secret, McBain? Oil of Olay?
Oil of McBain.
That's just sweat.
It's sort of wacky where Marge is confronting Homer about destroying birthday parties and he immediately starts talking in helium pitch. I actually thought that was a decent joke.
I thought it was really poorly landed, though. It didn't sound like Homer's voice on helium. It sounded like someone else doing a squeaky voice.
I thought it was Artie Pie in the Sky for a quick second. I'm like, am I missing, like, what?
That's actually a good point. It's a dangerous move for Dan Castellaneta to do because he does so many voices on the show that his high-pitched Homer is just his Artie's if. He should have actually sucked real helium.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't, because I didn't understand what was going on for a second until he went, have you drained all these helium balloons?
And conversely, how about the heart of this episode? Did you guys feel bumps?
No.
Yep. Like, cold metallic heart was unmoved.
I just remember they used to be able to do like crush stories with Bart and Lisa and you'd really care about them. Like when was it Ruth's daughter loved Jimbo and broke his heart? Like and I just didn't care one way or another about this Anika or Annika.
No, she was like, the second she's there, you're like, this isn't going to work out because A, it's Milhouse's cousin, so that's already weird and creepy. She's clearly older, and she immediately kind of abuses the relationship just to get him to get. So you're like, okay, this is not going to be a thing, and I don't care.
And she shares a face with Milhouse. Like, that's not... Yeah. Is Bart, like, secretly in love with Milhouse? What are they trying to say here?
They've done this a few times as well. It gets weirder every time.
And Milhouse is acting as creepy as that. Like, and, it's very uncomfortable, actually.
And the Dutch games? Like, what? Are they real?
Yeah, I'm going to assume that weird one with the bottle must be real, because who is going to come up... Okay, what you do is you tie a string around your waist, have a nail on one end that's hanging off your butt, and you try to put that into an empty bottle. It's like... No one in a writer's room just came up with that. That's probably a thing.
What was it called? Like spider splooting or something? Like
I don't know, but the Dutch game, really? This is like some University in Newcastle frat entry games.
Let's not bring that up again. That was not fun.
And pausing for a moment to have Milhouse go, oh, I love playing portable Dutch shuffleboard. And
Yeah, it's like the writers are standing going, get it? She's Dutch. Waka waka. Like,
I always thought that Milhouse was Italian as well. Like,
well, he is, because he speaks Italian. He's got an Italian nonna. And
that makes sense, but he's definitely Dutch. Like Van Outen is definitely a Dutch name.
Oh.
Because then he was teaching Lisa how to do it, and he was telling him about the family, and his mum and dad are first cousin. So what is he?
And speaking of heart, we find out that it gets reinforced that Milhouse's parents are probably cousins.
Yep.
Yep.
What was this writer's name again? I feel like he needs to be added to our shit list.
Jeff Westbrook.
Welcome to the same list as Tim Long, you motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
But surely it has to be a bit of an honour to be able to write your own Simpsons episode.
Oh, no, absolutely. And if ever given the opportunity, I'm jumping all over it, no matter how bad it ends up. But
yeah. Because, I mean, these things aren't written by one person. It's just...
But I'm just not sure, like, at what point this was ever going to be a good episode.
No, it just it goes so many different places so quickly.
Well, they obviously wanted Carice Van Houten because she shares the last name, and it's like, oh, cool, we can do a cousin of Milhouse or something.
Yeah, which is a fine idea, but it's just so nothing when it gets there. Like, you immediately know this is not going to be an interesting story.
Yeah, and it's not an interesting story because it's so forgetful of everything that happens previously. So, ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
No. Like, just... Other than Milhouse, who's acting like a brat out of nowhere, no one's particularly acting off point, I suppose, but just the story is just so all over the place and nonsensical and irrelevant and...
Yeah, I mean, even you could say Homer's whole birthday thing was... I don't know if it lacked in his integrity, but
I think it could have worked just if it was properly motivated, but he just decides he's going to ruin birthdays and like for no particular reason. And then you get this other weird bit when Big Birthday shows up and they're like, well, you've now been blacklisted. Your children aren't going to get any birthdays. It's like, isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Like, why else were you destroying them if not to avoid your own kids having them? Because why would you give a shit?
I felt like it would be more Lisa to, rather than cry about not getting a balloon ever again, be more like anti-corporation. Like, who cares?
Totally.
Like, Big Birday's not going to tell us how to do. Like, it could have gone in so many different directions. And
she could have been all like, you can't stop my mum giving me a birthday hug.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And Bart's whole e-cigarette thing, I totally get that he would be into it, especially to impress a girl that he likes, but because it was of such little consequence, it just never felt like it mattered.
Mm.
And it lacks integrity for Marge not to properly punish Bart for this. It's just like, oh, we cut to a nap break. I guess I forgot about it now.
Yeah, she's like, well, it's legal. I suppose you can do it. I'm like, oh, okay. That doesn't feel like you in the slightest.
No.
Yeah.
This is the person who wanted to call up the dictionary people for having the word bitch in there. Yeah.
She was sure there was a mistake. But yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
No.
Not for all the money in the world.
I mean, I would for all the money in the world. Half the money in the world.
That's just too much money. No one should do anything for all the money in the world.
I'm impressed. You have high standards.
BT, what would you change about this episode?
Just, I don't have... Do you have another podcast I can go on? There are so many things. Just pick one of your 7 plot lines and follow 2 of them at most. Maybe even 1. You could probably get away with 1. It's just so unbelievably unfocused. It's like, it feels a lot like the writers didn't have a delete key where they could go, oh, actually, no, that doesn't work. Let's go back. It was just like, no, that's in there now. And now we go here, and now we go here, and here, and here, and here. It's almost like it was improvised, and they were just drawing it live somehow. It's a great strain on the writer's wrist, but...
Yep, they lost their delete key, but it's okay. They have this big mound of cocaine. They can write all night.
Yeah, apparently. I would not be surprised.
Catherine, what would you change about the episode?
If I could change one thing, I'd just take Mona out of it, or give her a better origin story and make it the origin story of how they met. Or just remove her because, oh God, Glenn Close, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why? No, but that's probably how I change it. Or just go back in time and have them just not make the episode.
Yeah, this is like a total knock it down, rebuild it one for me. Yeah. I actually kind of like the birthday party thing, and I wish that was actually the premise of the episode.
Yeah, seems like a lot more fun to be mined out of that.
Yeah, that could be a good one too.
And also, it just occurs to me, why not introduce Annika at Milhouse's birthday party?
Oh, because that would have made sense, Elliot, and they don't have a delete key.
Yeah, she was at Rod's party, wasn't she?
Yeah.
At the air?
Naturally.
So, yeah, why wasn't the party that Homer had to make up for Milhouse's party? Like, anyway, there is just too much to change.
But now that you mention that, I think that is definitely get rid of Mona. Because you have a shitty episode, sure, but don't touch the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, have a shitty episode now. Leave the past alone.
Yeah.
So, musical moments of this episode.
Was the rhythmic beating of my head against the table of music?
It was toe-tappingly...
It was in 7/8, so...
Just the 20-minute stream of monotonous listing of post-apocalyptic movies. Was that count as a song? Like, I've just remembered that now, and I'm sad about it.
Yeah, that was terrible. Mostly, I also had... The only thing I could write down in time, because they released so many goddamn movies, is they go, an Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is not a dystopian movie, dickwads.
Yeah, it was funny. We heard the doorbell ring for Peter while he was doing that rant, and like, okay, this is probably still going to be going, and I get back, and it was.
It was still going. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, great point, Simpsons. There are a lot of post-apocalyptic movies. Insightful.
Yeah, wow, you were just cutting.
You know what else there's a lot of? Bad Simpsons episodes. You want me to list them? I will later. So, BT, do you have any other notes?
Oh, God, let me have a look here, because I do. And you're all going to hear about them. Okay, one of the few up arrows on my page is when Homer does steal all the petting zoo animals and then march them to Flanders Place. It's like, 2 of several animal.
Yeah.
I'll start building an ark. I liked that. That 2 of several animal was funny. Marge just walks in and goes, Homer, are you behind this string of epic birthday fails? It's like, you've been reading the internet, haven't you, Simpsons?
That was lit of you to say, Marge. How dank.
God, old man Simpsons, that's what I'm calling this one. There's this really weird bit where Milhouse's cousin gets introduced and Bart starts panning up her body and stops at the neck and is like, well, that's all I need to see. And it's like, that's really creepy coming from you. And then you know something's going to be weird with her face because they've set that up. Homer gets yelled at by Grandpa's old Air Force buddies, but then he's like, okay, fine, I'll respect my... And then he just shows up and they go out together and it's like, why are you what?
So that was another plot point that they just picked up and dropped.
Yeah.
Oh, this is about Homer learning to respect his... No, it's not.
Yep. And then they go to the bar of veterans of unpopular wars, which we've seen before, and I like that title. But then there's just... And it's resolved... But then they all point guns at Homer, and then we get a decent line of, I always say this at gunpoint, but I love you, Dad. And then it just keeps going, though. Like, you have a really shitty half-hearted...
Oh, yeah, then I didn't say at ease.
Yeah. But then, that's before we even have that long Mona Simpson fucking story. There was just dredging up this... My last note here is, it won't die.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. Oh, yeah, and Milhouse has a snake tongue because his parents are cousins.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I'm just
Weather's coming. What are you doing? Yeah.
That the anger deflated him.
Yeah, I had to throw things. I'm that upset right now. If I was a cat, I'd be casually knocking things off a table.
Yep. Catherine, did you have any other notes?
I just could not figure out what they were friggin' trying to do with Abe's army friends. So were they trying to get him to relive his life being young and cool? But then they were trying to get him to get some exercise. Like, why don't you walk to here and eat something, And then suddenly it was about him and Homer having a good relationship. Why would they care?
I don't.
Like, Abe never even mentioned anything. Like, it was just dumb. What were they doing? What was the point?
Yeah, and that to me actually brings up a whole... Because there's a bit where he's like, oh, why don't we go for an activity? And both Homer and Abe like movie. And like, okay, why don't we walk there? Nope, drive. Okay. And there's they're kind of...
Oh, my God.
So maybe they could have come across this thing of, Abe being reinvigorated by meeting his old Air Force buddies, but then having this thing of, no, you guys are my past, but my son is my present, because we get along so well because we're basically the same person.
Yeah.
Something.
It was like 15 people got to write one line of dialogue, and they didn't care where it was going.
It's like that drama game where you like have a sentence and then someone else has to pick it up just from the end of the sentence.
Like a computer-generated, put you in 2 words and it'll tell you like your fake Simpsons name or something. Yeah. It's like they did that with this whole plot. Like, Milhouse's face on Hot Girl Body, But even then, at the end of the story, he goes, anyway, my point is, you win them over with a big grand gesture. And Bart's like, a big grand gesture? I'll go do that. And then Abe's like, no, that wasn't my point. It's like, you just said it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess for a grandpa thing, the whole...
If it had been shorter, I would have forgiven it.
Yeah.
But, they just had to have that Kerouac bit.
And then, I don't know, were we even informed that Annika was leaving? Like, was that airport grand gesture fed enough? Like, the whole airport cliche?
So. I think it literally comes up of... big grand gesture, but she's leaving today in 45 minutes, and I can just get... And it's like, just set it up right. And then, we haven't even mentioned it where he gets there, and instead of being like, you're a wonderful person, I'll never forget you, they're like, you actually suck. It's like, so why email someone that they suck? That's why we invented email.
Yeah. Although, I kind of like that he stood up to her because... Yeah, she was abusing her relation, but he didn't ever seem to struggle with that dynamic either.
He seemed rather happy to go get e-cigarettes because he seemed to be enjoying them. It was just,
And it did lean to the scene that I like where he threw them all out and then all the people coming in just start like vaping up quickly and that one woman snaps it in half and sucks the vape fluid.
I'm sick of breathing clean air. I enjoy that, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's time for my rapid notes.
Yeah, he says that, but it's going to take a while. So
I'll get comfy.
Yeah, he's going to prep.
And I'm dropping the whole quick fire thing. I don't know, guns. So Milhouse gets a squishy named after him. That was a dumb fucking 2-second joke that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, of all the dumb 2-second jokes that didn't need to happen in this, that was my least hated. So,
but there wasn't even any pun. It was just like Milhouse's Big Berry Blast.
Oh, I assumed I missed something. Okay, then fuck that. If it's not a pun, then it can fuck off.
But I don't know what flavor like you could like pun in with Milhouse. Dill House? Would you like a dill?
Pickle slushy.
You gotta admit, at least it's a pun and people will be like, this is terrible. Why did you do this?
Why am I tasting it? Why did I just give you $5.99? I liked how Homer referred to the birthday parties as like an arms race. I think that is a real funny thing.
Yeah, and hey, if they were going to run with the birthday party as being a thing about how what MTV show Sweet 16 or whatever.
I loved that. I lived for that show, man.
Nice. Have you seen the South Park episode?
Yes, Satan. I love it.
Yeah.
An Acura cake. Yeah.
Yeah, if they were going with that, then sure, have it be an arms race, but it just doesn't.
No, and so... Homer, to ruin a birthday party, dresses up as Krusty the Clown and puts his head in a noose.
First of all, dresses up as Krusty the Clown badly, even though he's done this professionally before.
Yeah. I wrote that down, but then I thought, well, maybe that's part of it. Like, just be a terrible Krusty to make it worse for the last kid in the world that likes clowns.
Yeah. Yeah,
Still
terrible.
That was
a dumb joke as well, wasn't it? I'm the last kid who ever liked clowns.
Yeah. Not in the Simpsons universe, you dick. Like, everyone loves Krusty.
Krusty's still rating,
Yeah, at the end of every episode, even when Krusty goes off the air, he is still on the air. What was Homer's line as well? I'm here to give you the latest news or something. It was some terrible news pun. I'm only at the start of my horrible rapid-fire notes. And in Big Birthday's rant, he has something about, what else are graduates going to do? And then it cuts to four kids popping out as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It tells you, we're the industry that puts giant cakes with undergrads and Ninja Turtles popping out. And then it says it, and then it shows you it, and then you go back to the rant, and you're like, one of the other guys, don't do both.
Yep. In hearing that he might not have a birthday party, but he goes, I don't want to live on this world anymore, and goes to
slingshot his own throat.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that.
Oh, really?
In terms of how a child would think of committing suicide. Maybe against the head rather than into the throat, but Just right. Ow. Just going to spit wad myself.
I like the idea that the writers had to sit around and workshop this. So what's funny ways for children to commit suicide? Maybe if he had a killer python.
Do they have killer pythons in the States? Or are they just stuck with...
I don't know, but America, if you haven't had a killer python yet, come to Australia, get down the tuck shop, have 20 cents ready.
You're confusing the fuck out of them right now. And 20 cents, what tuck shop are you going to, mate?
So, why is the plane named after a woman?
They could have made it funny. They could have made it more sexist, but they didn't meet either halfway.
I think either lean hard into the overdosed sexism or be like, because we all miss our wives and one day we want to go home to them. So
then Lisa feels like a bit of a tool, but it was just dumb. And I felt like that was just shoehorned in to give Lisa a line in this episode.
Yeah, that was my other note. Why is Lisa here?
Yeah.
She didn't need to be at the Air Force Base in that scene.
And Miss Rod's party? Are you out of your mind?
Is that when it was?
Yeah.
Sorry, this episode was fucking so confusing. And it goes back to the Air Force Base a few times. Rapid notes. I like how Apu goes, this isn't kid stuff. Now, which flavor would you like, bubblegum or strawberry?
That's fair.
And then that's brought back later when Homer goes, Bart's vaping? What does he like, bubblegum, strawberry? I thought that was pretty decent.
Yeah. Again, if that's what the episode is about. Yeah,
they're just sort of peppered in the e-cig stuff. And then at the end where Homer makes his father a steak in an e-cig.
I didn't understand how that worked at all.
No, usually
it didn't.
And Homer goes something like, remember when we first shared a beer when I got my first merit badge? Yeah, and making baskets. And this basket right here. And then it immediately breaks. I gotta say, don't say dull. You should be proud. That basket held up for 30-odd years.
Proper had fruit in it. It was being used.
Yeah. 30 years of fruit basket. That's impressive.
Yeah.
No,
you own that beer.
Yeah.
It was a very lame joke. I didn't mind Grandpa's line, the world was our garbage basket, but I really wish there was a bit more litter on the ground, and I wish his tire popped because of litter.
Yep. No, so that makes sense. That would have been a good bit. No delete key.
Yeah, it's like they got pitched this idea, and I'm like, what? That makes sense. What the fuck are you talking about?
For a hot second, I thought that scene was going to be like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas type homage, and I was like, oh, sweet. But no, Tobey Maguire's going to pop out of somewhere. But no.
Yeah, because there was the red Cadillac and the young rider, and I'm like, ooh.
And he's meant to be on LSD. Yeah, oh my God, that would have been so much better.
Could have been.
Fucking cock-slapping fuck.
And my final note was Arnica exits stage by going, I'm going to put on the stripy leggings of disappointment or something.
Yeah, the Dutch and their stripy leggings that tell you exactly how they feel.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I've always wondered, is it racist if the things that you're saying are just really obscure and weird? Like, all Chinese people like to clip their toenails on Sundays.
Do they ever?
See, this is what it felt like they were going with the Dutch. Portable shuffleboards, stripy leggings.
Yeah, it's either a reference we don't get or they were just making shit up.
Yeah.
Though I do enjoy the concept of made up racism. That sounds fun. Those Ukrainians sure love their indoor pools.
As much as they love their hair curlers.
Ukrainians.
All right, guys, I'm out of notes. I think it is time to rank this thing.
Okay.
On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. But maybe if the episode was just meh, you give it a participant. But for the good rankings, you got good, bronze, great, silver, excellent, gold. But for the best of the very best, the ones that you'd step over your own mother to watch, you give those episodes a cubic zirconia. Now I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. I'm straight up failing this episode. There was no potential in it, basically. It's just, it squanders every move it makes. It forgets everything that happened before it, and it does nothing good with it. BT, what do you reckon?
Well, for all those reasons and more, I'm also on a failure. It has nothing redeemable. I got a couple of laughs out of it, but they weren't worth just the heavy eye-rolling moments and the endless number of plot threads that don't matter or do anything or go anywhere. And by the end, just like, and it wouldn't end.
Yeah.
It just kept going. So yeah, for me, that's a stone cold failure.
All right, Catherine, finish us off.
Yeah, it did feel like a 45-minute episode. It just, it made me really sad. It really did make me hate birthdays. And old people, veterans. Oh, God. And the Dutch. Oh, God.
And maligned so many people.
Yeah, but fail. Absolute fail. Terrible.
Total failure. All right. Well, that means we're giving this episode the index finger. And it'll be joining other such unanimous failures as Season 16's future drama, The Italian Bob, where Sideshow Bob is a mayor of some Italian town, Monty Burns' Fleeing Circus, The Great Fatsby Part 2, Grampy Can You Hear Me, which we reviewed a couple of episodes ago, which is also just incredibly unfocused. And
I don't remember it, but...
the hearing aid and Seymour, the old blue mare, she ain't what she used to be when Marge becomes mayor of Springfield, the Musk who fell to Earth, the Elon Musk episode, and the Lady Gaga episode. This will be our 20th unanimous failure as well. We have almost a full season of just the worst
garbage.
Yeah, that's not even counting all the participants, dull participants. This is just pure failure.
This is the pit of filth season.
Yep. All right, and now, is that reputation justified?
Ooh.
Where we look at other reviews this episode has gotten, Dennis Perkins of the AV Club gave this episode a C-. So this is, like, pretty well a failure on there.
Yeah, for AV Club's scale ranking, that's very low. There
are ghosts of any number of potentially fruitful stories all through this episode, none of which the writers develop beyond their most basic cursory outlines.
Yeah,
fair.
I'm stunned. We agree with the AV Club. I don't think it's ever happened before.
That reputation is justified.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right, guys. Now, we are going to go all the way back to Season 15 now, and I don't have the episode title, so we'll check in with that later.
Oh, hey, post-production Elliot. Way to put that title in.
Hey, buddy. All right, we'll be back. And we are back, and we just watched our Teens Era episode for this evening, which was Season 15, Episode 5, The Fat and the Furriest, and which is a pun on that popular Brum Brum car movie, you know.
No, I know. I just have no follow-up.
With Van Duzel.
Just continue.
And Pete Welker. It was first released in November of 2003, and it was written by Joel H. Cohen. In this episode, okay, again, a lot happens. Homer buys Marge a candy machine, and he makes a giant candy ball, which he then takes to the dump, and then he fights a bear, and then he's afraid of the bear. And then when he goes to confront the bear again, he ends up befriending the bear. Guys, what did you think? What happened?
Well, I mean, it had a plot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah. Miles ahead of the previous one by actually having a structure. And once you get to the bear, it stays with the bear. That's what it's about.
Yeah. It's that first act, the irrelevant first act thing was just in full swing this episode, though.
But hey, it didn't take up too much time, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Catherine, what do you think of this episode?
I didn't hate it with, like, fury.
Yeah.
But I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they had a couple of good one-liners in it that I had a bit of a chuckle at. But nothing that I could probably remember had I not written anything down. It wouldn't have stuck with me.
I'm the same. I think every line I liked that I wrote down, I'm not going to remember.
Yeah.
So, kicking it off, BT, what's a moment from the story that stood out to you?
I like the kitchen carnival.
Yeah?
It's kind of adorable. It has that little tinny speaker that plays the carnival music.
Yeah.
It seems like a Marge thing. I'm on board.
Does it?
A little bit. She likes kitchen things. She likes cooking for the family.
Yeah, but...
As a Mother's Day present, yeah, it kind of sucks. But I feel like she could get behind it.
My problem with that moment of the story is spending the first half of that act, you know, hyping up, what should we get Mum? We need to get her a great Mother's Day present to beat the Agarunanans. The daisies, the flowers. I hated that joke.
It did drag on.
But conversely, I liked the cup joke.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was cute.
Yeah. When especially a double down, I was like, to have Homer go, Bob, we got her the same present, the crappily made cup.
Mummy.
But then Lisa says, no, it's worse than that. Look, and Maggie's got one as well. That doubling down on that joke actually really worked.
Well, it's especially funny because it's bad for Bart. It's extra terrible for Homer, but it's actually very adept for Maggie.
Oh, yeah. Maggie is miles ahead.
So they spend the first half of this act building up that Marge needs a present that's perfect for her because these heartfelt gifts won't do. And they get her this kitchen carnival, which she doesn't even use that. She uses it for one scene.
And to be fair, it could have been literally anything that eventually needed to be thrown out as long as we can get to the tip. So it may not be the best thing. I think I just look at a kitchen carnival, and even though it would kill me due to my diabetes, I kind of like it.
It did give us Patty and Selma suggesting it. And I did enjoy when Homer threw the battery at them. So and that was
they
right.
casually dodge and just thump. Oh.
Yeah, and it's horrible, but I didn't mind Patty and Selma's insult to Homer then, called him hairy ass tubman.
Yeah, it's a long way to go, but it gets there.
Well, I mean, he does have a hairy ass and he is a bit of a tubby man.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, that's my main problem is that it is essentially the Homer bowling ball gift all over again.
For the most part, but at least someone recommends it to him. It's not, I want this, I'll just put Marge's name on it. Someone actually does, his sisters no less, say Marge would love this. So,
okay.
you know.
And the whole family enjoyed it, so...
So, there's someone who brings the family together in the kitchen. That's Marge's kind of deal.
She does like fun for the whole family, but Catherine, we have a regular guest on our show, Jordan, and he has what we call Jordan's Anal Corner.
Jordan's Anal Corner!
In which we point out something anal retentive
I have
and
a couple,
do that. Yeah, the cotton candy thing. I mean, I have little experience with cotton candy, but you need the circular thing to
otherwise the magic doesn't work.
Yep.
Magic is circular.
Yeah, there's no square cotton candy machines where it just appears.
And caramel would melt it into nothing. It would literally just have a handful of caramel.
That was my next point, yeah.
And what was Abe doing? Why did he dip his teeth in... What was happening there?
Just people that was this the Simpsons enjoying the carnival.
Yeah, just
deep frying a carrot.
A big old sugar pinch. Catherine, what's a moment from the story that stood out to you?
Well, I love when Homer gets obsessed with a piece of food.
Yep.
I do love it. His sugar pile. I love his Subway sandwich. Yep. I love this when he started talking to it, when it was listening to him. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, right at the very end where it's like, no, get rid of her, Homer. We'll be together. It's like, no, Marge is a point. Although candy ball. No, Marge. Although.
Yeah, I thought they dragged that part of that out too long, but I did like the visual of that. No, we can be together.
And actually, another bit that I quite enjoyed, I thought it was kind of dumb, but when Homer was first pouring the caramel on the fairy floss, when the lights changed and the shadow on his face, it took me right back to like early seasons 2 and 3 of The Simpsons when they always used to do that. And so that kind of felt a bit more...
The madness lighting, and I think there's lightning at one point.
Yeah.
And
I felt, maybe this is more Simpson-y.
Yeah, it's very Frankenstein-y parody. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, and with it cackling with laughter. Look what I'm creating and all that.
The fellow at Radio Shack said I was mad.
And Marge's super easy crosswords. Fun. Wow. Marge.
It actually reminds me of a HD Simpsons background joke where Homer's reading already solved crossword puzzles and he's just going through it going, oh, interesting. Yeah, the moment from the story that stood out to me, I mean, why not? The bear thing. I thought it was an interesting way to go, but I don't like how it was set up with Kent's cowards. Because it's a fucking bear.
Yeah.
But I think that's the joke. It's like, look at him scared of a bear.
Yeah, but I don't know.
They could have sold the, I don't know what the term is, the fact that, no, there should be something you're scared of.
I wish there was a different angle that they sold it on, even if it was just a found footage thing and, it was a fine enough way to introduce the Hunter character in this episode. But
although you do get the bizarre, a line that I kind of like where he's like, it was shot by local hunter, not with a gun, but with a camera.
Yeah.
Yes, I often get guns and cameras confused, once tragically at a wedding.
Yep, and may as well jump to that. The only guest star of this episode was Charles Napier, who you probably don't recognize the name, but look him up online, and I'm showing these guys a photo now. It's that guy.
Yeah.
He's your grizzly military guy when you're like, he picks up the phone and says, I told you never to call me on this number.
Yeah. If Army Ermy is not there, you call Charles Napier.
Ali Ermy is your drill sergeant. This is the general in charge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like he holds a bit more authority
Oh,
than
yeah,
Ali.
it's that haircut.
You can set your watch to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's been in movies like The Manchurian Candidate, Austin Powers, Silence of the Lambs, Rambo 2 First Blood, which should be called Rambo 2 Second Blood.
Yeah, the Rambo, as to quote Arbed, the Rambo titles never made any sense.
I thought he did a fine job in this episode, though, even if his material was a bit...
He did a fine job, yeah.
Yeah, I think the majority of his material that was good was like all the visual gags.
Yeah, the penguin mug and cup.
I was like, oh, I want that sippy cup. Oh, wait, it's probably taxidermied.
Yeah, awkward. Or I do like his, but first to snack just shoots in the air. Eagle lands on the sandwich, just in
one go.
I feel like Lisa would have been a bit more disgusted by him.
Maybe just shocked that he just shot and ate an entire eagle.
Yeah.
And yeah, the butterfly crisps as well. He's just eating like freeze-dried butterfly. Kind of makes me hungry for freeze-dried butterfly right now.
You wouldn't want to. It's mostly gristle.
So play count. How many times before tonight have you seen this episode?
Like 3, 4.
Yeah?
I think just once.
Yeah.
I think when it aired.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, I've seen this about 4 or 5 times. Like, season 15 is a bit of a mixed bag. Like, this is when the season when a lot of failures start coming in.
Yeah.
Whereas season 13 and 14 are still mostly good. It's just...
So you're saying life is a lot like season 15. You never know what you're going to get.
That is the exact quote.
Go
yes.
ahead and use that, world. I gift it to you.
So, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
I guess so. Nothing feels out of place. It's definitely a little bit more on the wacky side, but yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's, characters act like themselves. Plot moves along.
Yeah.
Nothing feels wrong.
It's just a lot of the material is a bit lame.
Yeah. I think a tad lame is its biggest problem.
Yeah, because a lot of the jokes fall flat for me, even though, yeah, I totally believe Homer's cowardice, and his just absolute fear of bears that comes along from this. I think that is all in character. It's just I really wish the material was better.
Yeah, we did all have that line where we all cringed of, that's it, kids, suckle daddy sugar ball.
My God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think everyone, there was just the collective sound of just people going...
And they're like the suckling noises, and it was just what? No.
And they clearly used like pigs feeding from their mother as a visual reference for this animation as
Hence
well.
Suckling, very uncomfortable.
Very.
Don't watch this on a first date.
Or on a set. Like, we have such a big list of episodes that we'd rather you watch on a first date.
Yes. You can romance some of The Simpsons for sure, but not this one.
Yeah. So how about some of the wacky moments of this episode? It's a fantasy sequence, but I actually kind of like the Homer's paranoid fear of all the bears, where he starts freaking out at the Teddy Grahams and the gummy bears and
they're in our food. I quite enjoyed that little line.
I didn't like the bit with the books when he runs into Maggie's room. That was a bit much, but the bit with the food I thought worked a lot better.
Yeah. And it was a cool little visual set to that sinister version of the Teddy Bear's picnic.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish we got like the cleaning products attacking him in the...
Yeah. I must destroy you.
Yeah.
The other wacky bit is when he's being chased by the bear and he dives into a toilet and they do kind of a whack-a-mole thing where he pops it up and down from different toilets.
I didn't like that.
Nah, it didn't do anything for me. It was just...
Yeah.
I believe that was wickety whack.
It was very. And it's a shame because they had something going for them there where he starts crying and snot's coming out of his nose and he just looks pathetic and then the bear goes, eh.
Yep.
So how was the bear's motivations? Were they wacky?
He was motivated by electricity. That's fine.
Yeah.
Other Jordan's Corner would be anything that's going to shock a bear is going to kill a person.
Yeah. That I'm not gonna lie. I found that really cute when Homer did take that off and the bear was like, oh, and I was like, I love The Simpsons again. Yeah. But then when he put it on, I thought, no. Yeah. And then he did it again, and I just thought, no.
Stop it.
And then we have to listen to 10 more seconds of Homer shouting, and it's just...
It's one of those moments where she's like, just stop, Simpsons.
I feel like it could have been funny had he done it once and then said, I feel like it could have been the tag, and then the bear smacked it out of his hand, and I was like, oh, he was going to do it again, but then he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, and that's immediate camaraderie with the bear. That sounds good to me.
Definitely.
Yep.
Because, even, their little montage was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Where they were, taking sausages from the Hibbards and...
pouring through, people's picnic baskets and...
Yeah.
He hands Homer a spoon when he's eating ice cream. And
God damn it, what are you, an animal?
Spoons, it's what separates us from the animals.
Many scientists say it was the opposable thumbs,
They're
but
wrong.
no. It was the advent of spoons.
Fucking yeah.
Well, I like it that they then, when Homer meets up with the bear, it's then them together trying to get him to the wildlife sanctuary. It's not just immediately forgotten. Like, it could have been.
Yeah, it becomes a buddy story. That's it.
Yeah, even though this episode hops around about what the actual story is, like, there is a through line there that you can follow at least. But how about the heart moments? Did you feel the heart between Bear and Homer?
Well, not a heap, but enough. What we're going to get out of a Bear Homer story, I think that's, the most the thumps we were going to get. Yeah,
it's more functional than it is an excellent example. Yeah, heart moment, man. I'm struggling with this episode. A lot happens and such little happens. But yeah, I didn't really feel a lot of the heart though.
No, it's sentiment more than heart, I suppose.
I was a little bit attached to the candy wad. I wasn't sure that should have been.
I think it was made to be the villain when it was just a candy wad.
It was misunderstood.
Exactly. I do like when he's napping on the hammock with it and it's ants, birds, cats, Flanderuses.
That was a bit of a cartoony moment that I did like. But I didn't need Rod going, I was saving sugar for my wedding night.
Yeah, if that had have just been a visual moment, that would have been...
It's like, Rod, you lost that when you inhaled that pixie stick.
I was going to say, forget about the pixie stick, or when Flanders lets them sometime have a cartoon devil red hearts.
That has been BT's Nerd Corner.
I like that I literally can't do that without fake pushing glasses up. Like I have to. It's important. It's a part of the bit.
Make sure you push up the glasses in the microphone so the audience can hear it.
They can hear it. They can feel that in my...
So yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
It'd certainly pass a hangover test. Just to explain, that's when it's an episode that maybe you wouldn't seek it out, but hey, if you're hungover and you're on a couch and you're cozy and this episode comes on, you're not changing it because like, that's good enough. Okay. I'm just trying to think if I was like passing by and you were watching it, would I sit down and watch it? If I had nothing else to do whatsoever, so that would go from hangover test to would I watch it on a plane.
Yeah.
So it would be a plane episode, I think.
All right. Catherine, would you watch this again?
Yeah, if it was on, I think I would. But it was cute. It was fine. Inoffensive.
Yeah.
I'd watch again. But if there was something else on, I'd probably change the channel. But
yeah, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I'm just going to flat out avoid this one. And it's one where I didn't actually, the experience of watching it wasn't awful. It's just, there's nothing for me to return to here.
Yeah.
But, you guys might watch it again. What playlist would this belong in? Bears?
Put it with like a YouTube video with that guy who actually made a bear suit, because that thing is awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You can like shoot it and it's fine.
Oh, wow.
Look it up. It's interesting.
As in a suit for bears? Or
no, a suit so you can research bears without them mauling you to death.
Oh.
He looks like RoboCop Terminator with like a Pacific Rim mech. It's awesome.
I thought you were just about to launch on a movie titles.
I mean, give me a minute. Barely Human, how one man became a robot.
Rawr. Damn it, I couldn't think of a good tagline.
Fuck it, rawr.
What other playlists?
Put this with Call of the Simpsons, where Maggie hangs out with the family of bears.
Yeah, true. And the candy convention, pair it with this, do a whole candy theme. Marge gift-giving occasions.
Yeah, sure.
Watch it with, like, just animal ones. I think Stampy. Were we meant to think that was Stampy?
It looks Stampy-ish, but maybe I'm an elephant racist and I can't tell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, that's another thing I remember from this one. There was a weird sort of fake racism thing, like in the last one. Like, didn't Abe call him like a cowardly Swede?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
are the Swedes known for being cowards?
They're neutral. Is that cowardice? I guess. I don't know.
I just thought, hey, that's interesting.
Tweet in, Swedish listeners. Are you cowards?
The funny thing is, if they were, they wouldn't tweet in to confirm.
No, they would. They'd be like, yeah, you got us.
They'd be too afraid to tweet. I don't know.
I don't know how cowardice work, being the, absolute alpha that I am.
And I'm too afraid to find out. Yeah, so BT, what would you change about this episode?
Better jokes. I think the story is fine. It's a bit more on the wax. I don't really want to tweak too much there. There's some small differences you can make, but nothing, no massive overhaul. But just give me a few more laughs along the way. Throw it around.
Yep.
Take the writers out for margaritas and see what kind of jokes you get out of it.
Yeah, this episode is lacking fun, isn't it?
Yeah, which is surprising for hanging out with a bear.
Yeah.
And again, there's a cute montage, but you don't get too much out of it, unfortunately. So
yeah.
For a whole hunter-bear friendship thing, yeah, surprisingly not as much fun as I was hoping.
Catherine, what would you change?
I feel like Lenny and Carl kind of wasted.
Yeah.
That could have been better. But yeah, I think a lot of the jokes were kind of had a chuckle, but I would not remember them if anyone asked. So focus, like sharpen up the jokes, maybe get it a little bit more streamlined.
Well, actually, you two sort of make me think. I kind of wish that Lenny and Carl actually weren't in the episode and it was Homer teaming up with this hunter. I mean, you have Charles Napier there. Why wasn't he the one that took Homer out on this trip?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, then you wouldn't get them all singing Afternoon Delight and Do-si doing.
Okay. When Anchorman first came out, there was a massive influx of shows having Afternoon Delight in them as a joke. And I'm very sure this was another example of that. Corrections Index, Fat and the Furriest was released in November 2003, while Anchorman was released in June 2004. Over half a year later, so obviously that claim was false. And additionally, I can't stand by my claim that Anchorman influenced other shows and movies to use Afternoon Delight because the song has been in so many TV shows and movies over the years, well before and right up to the release of Anchorman. So look, anyway, I was wrong then, but I still agree with everything I'm about to rant about now. Totally unnecessary, stupid as fuck to look at. And my problem with how that joke rolled out was Bart was initially concerned that there were no batteries in the bear tracker, and he shows this concern and oh my god, why are you guys listening to the radio? Cuts later to him doing a do-si-do with them. I
mean, how can you avoid line dancing to Afternoon Delight?
I don't know, in the face of bear danger.
Afternoon Delight.
I know, but...
Skyrockets in flight, Elliot.
Afternoon Delight. Damn it, you did it to me.
Every time.
You logged me into an Afternoon Delight. That sounds weird.
Yes, it does. Please stop.
So musical moments from this episode. Yeah, we just mentioned Afternoon Delight. And during the Homer Bear loving montage was I Got You, Babe.
And Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. It comes right after the T and right before the G-E-R. I wrote that while I was watching this episode.
Listeners, it's okay. I'm flipping off on your behalf.
Come on, it's not a bad joke.
It's not bad, but also shut up.
So this was doing one of those things where teen-era Simpsons do a lot of really on-the-nose musical cues. So yeah, when he's building the bear suit and he's prepping up and it's Eye of the Tiger and I don't know, it just feels like kind of lazy to sort of just do a montage and hang an obvious music cue on it.
There could have been some better jokes and less montage, had they worked more on, some classics.
Yeah. BT, any other notes?
Indeed, I do. I'm going to have to go backwards because I got a big one at the end.
Sure.
So I do like it when it switches to the bear is clubbing an elephant and he's like, circle of life. That was a good little final note to end on.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's stupid as fuck, so I liked it.
Yeah. Well, again, sorry, coming back to the whole Stampy thing, I complain a lot about Simpsons dredging up past for no reason, but I thought it would have been an okay-ish way of saying, oh, look, it's Stampy or something. I don't know.
Well, just maybe not even say it, but have the elephant put the bear in his mouth.
Yeah.
And then be like, circle of life. Okay, I've talked myself out of that note, thanks.
Sorry.
Mr. Burns, what a delightfully practically based joke.
Well, that one to me was a lazily written Burns line.
Yeah, it seems like you would have had some old cootery kind of words for that, but...
Yeah, because the Burns language joke isn't about taking now words and olding them up. It's actually taking old words.
Well, I took this to be him going, hey, a practically based joke. I've never heard of one of them before. That must be new. But, you talked me out of it again. Fuck you.
Sorry?
Where we cut to the beginning of the news. It's like, the angry president crawled out of the shallow grave and went back to work. There's a story I want to hear about.
Yep.
Okay, I do have to Google Jacqueline Smith and why she has her own range of axe heads. But before we get to that, Grandpa has a website called oldcoot.com.
Yeah.
Where it has a good line of, welcome to oldcoot.com. Why don't you visit more often? Which was fine. But I Googled oldcoot.com. I can't even make this up. It's that brilliant.
It's porn, isn't it?
No, it's better. You can reach Grandpa here. Do you want affordable, turnkey, high-quality, crazy, funny entertainment for the whole family at your event? Just let us know and we'll send you a quote. There is a Hire a Grandpa website.
What?
Not even making that up.
I don't have grandpas.
You can if you want.
Awesome.
Grandpa brings more value to your event. That's oldcoot.com.
What event, though, would you really need a grandpa?
I don't know, but it exists.
Grandpa's Day?
A really elaborate web of lies that involves you having grandfathers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you meet cute with the person of your dreams was talking about your grandparents, but both of yours have sadly passed on, and what? You're going to need a grandpa to pull this off. It's a rom-com coming soon.
Yeah. Hire a Coot.
Starring Jennifer Aniston.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, see? We've already sold it. We've got a ticket already. Someone give me $28 million in Jennifer Aniston.
And then another $28 million for Jennifer Aniston.
Please, she's working for scale now.
So Jacqueline Smith was the original Kelly Garrett in Charlie's Angels.
Hey, well, moved on to her own range of axe heads. That's a lateral move.
Yeah, I couldn't, in my skimming of Wikipedia, couldn't determine what the connection with her and axe heads is, but... Yep. Did you have any other notes?
I know. I am out. This is the sound of my notebook closing.
Catherine, did you have any other notes?
Just that I've written Chief Wiggum's great. When Homer was driving past and Lou says, he shouldn't be in the carpool lane. His passenger's a big bowl of sugar. And Chief Wiggum just goes, I wish mine was.
Yeah.
It's like short and sweet. Cute little Wiggum.
I did enjoy that line. And so often we complain about the Wiggum Lou stuff. And yeah, short, sweet, snappy. That was good.
Just like a bowl of sugar.
So that was all your notes?
Yeah, and I had a Jacqueline Smith one too. Like, what? No. I don't get it.
No.
Yeah.
Do people just buy axe heads? What?
Yeah.
Signature axe heads.
You know what? Make it Jack Nicholson's signature axe heads from The Shining. And I would probably buy one.
You know, that's probably what they originally had, and they already wrote the JAC in the sign, and they couldn't get Jack Nicholson's approval. So then we're like, oh shit, we're up the creek.
Who else famously uses an axe? No one.
Charlie's Angels. There was that one episode. I don't know.
By the way, I just noticed your shirt. Does it say no to sports?
Yeah.
Nice.
My life philosophy.
Yeah, no, you're in good company. Don't worry.
I need one in a 3X, please. I am actually seeing like a long string of jokes that I absolutely hated.
All right. Well, hey, let's get into them.
Is one, you slags are all right? Because I listen to that, I'm like, do I like this? Do I hate it? What is happening to me? I don't know.
I kind of if it's in reference, if it was not in reference to someone we knew he already hated, then it would probably be very uncomfortable. Like if it was, actually I did have another note. The bit with Cletus and the hunter back and forth cocking the rifle. I like that just because.
Oh, really?
Rifle cocking jokes. I'm on board with that.
It was just one that I thought they took too many bites of the pie on that, and I don't know. I guess it was kind of saved at the end where he's going, it's okay. We all need to feel important sometimes. All right. Now it's time for my rapid note time. Speedy notes and no boats. Except for that one. When Homer goes, I love Sprawl Mart. They have videos of Christian vegetables or whatever. And he's not even in the store. And he's like, the setting already showed that he's like several meters away from the shop front. And then they just cut to a VeggieTales joke. And it wasn't even a good one.
I enjoyed the line food pyramid.
Because Egypt.
Yeah.
Right.
Pyramids.
Yeah. But
I like good pyramid humor, sue me.
But let my pickles go. How fucking lazy is that?
Have you watched VeggieTales?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking lazy.
There's a lot of puns based on vegetables.
So, I mean, they're not even, like, making a comment about the show. They're just doing what the show does.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Homer goes, Moses.
You have to remember, I thought this was the much more awkward one where there's, like, the salad of the crisper where there's the tomato getting whipped, and it's like... So the fact that wasn't that, I think, made me like this a bit more. Yeah. Because I didn't have to go, oh.
I like that Abe was a greeter, but it's actually one where I kind of wish they did something with that. But it just sort of led to a gag about Nelson shoplifting with his mouth because he was in a store-mandated straitjacket.
Yeah.
I did like Marge's line because, again, just Marge, adorable cuteness. She goes, I feel like a secretary on Administration Professionals Day.
That was adorable.
Go, Marge. We love you. I didn't need the shot of Homer doing a cotton candy throw.
Yeah. And then to follow it up with only my hairdresser knows for sure, which is like the tagline of some product.
Probably
like shampoo or something. Like.
Yeah.
Look, if it's not advanced hair, I don't know how I'm supposed to know about it.
Yeah. And, I mean, we've seen Homer bald before. It's not like we thought he was born with it. And maybe it was some other sort of product. And I really didn't need the line of Bart going, I'm going to deep fry my pants so finally I can eat my shorts.
It was that really hard lean into it. Like, get it? It is. He says that. He said, now, you'll get it later.
It just would have been better if he just did it.
Yeah.
The worst part about it, though, is someone was really proud
of
writing that line. Like, everyone sit down. You're not going to believe how great this is. Yes. Like, they got all their friends and family around, and they were just like, that was it.
Someone like wrote down one, bet it. Look, he's going to eat his shorts.
There was a funny enough visual gag when Homer's at the dump and he's walking by the pile of Betamax tapes and the pile of laserdiscs and a reserve for DVDs.
Yeah.
I like that because we're in that future now where any garage sale you can go get a DVD for like 50 cents.
True, 50 cents. Where are you shopping for DVDs?
Clearly at the
Sucker Mart.
the hoity-toity garage sales of Castle Hill. Go down to Jim's garage sale this weekend and get a great discount on chandeliers. Because Castle Hill. I don't know.
I live here and I don't get it.
Again, this is something that Simpsons do in this era, is put too much value on the bullies, where they just randomly cut to the school of the bullies making fun of Bart, and none of the material here was funny. My dad's not a coward. All he did was stay up for 6 days and harass employees at KFC.
It was weird, yeah.
Anyway, it wasn't funny. Didn't need to be there. Homer didn't even need a welder's mask.
Too much build. I mean, I know it was only quick, but too much build up for like such little payoff. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but
that's true.
His eyes glowing red and
yeah. And what do you guys think about the Moby Dick reference?
I had a little chuckle. It was cute.
Yeah.
But again, if I hadn't have written it down, the story of Moby Dick is to be yourself.
Yeah.
But
also, doesn't the beginning, like the preface of Moby Dick, say it's not a metaphor for anything, and yet people keep trying to read into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. Well...
Take that, high literature critics.
Yeah, Hunter S. Thompson. Who wrote it?
Norman Melville?
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Something Melville, I think. I don't know if it's Norman.
At one point, and during that whole building the bear suit montage, Homer goes to Marge, well, you don't even know how ridiculous you look now. And then, walks away with the butt hanging out.
Yeah, I don't like that because we're not talking about how Marge looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
And she wasn't being ridiculous either.
No.
But I didn't mind the whole open butt thing, if I get scared, I don't want to ruin the suit.
I enjoy a good pantsless joke every now and then.
Yeah, and poop jokes, they're funny.
Sometimes jokes when I'm pantsless. Wait, that sounds terrible. God damn it, I'm ruining everything today.
Bart's like, no, I'm going to change my name to Joe Kickass, which is a lazy, lame name, but then how Homer goes, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's something a 10-year-old would think of for sure.
Yeah. Cool Mo D. Ariel, Cool Mo D. So... the octopus suit thing.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about this.
I forgot about that too.
I hate this bit.
So what bugged me about this scene, they're going through all the costumes in the closet. This would have been your opportunity to kind of reference some old episodes.
Or just leave the country western octopus as a suit that they have, and you're like, what?
Or even just them mentioning it, that they had it. Country octopus, astronaut,
Yeah, but then to have everything grind to a halt so we can watch Lisa try it on and be like, hey, y'all, if you don't like my song... this joke is already too old.
I'll spray you with ink.
Yeah,
that wasn't even a joke. Were they going for this non-joke sort of thing?
It's like, bring your kids to work day and one of the kids wrote that and they're like, fuck, we gotta put this in now. Otherwise little Timmy is going to be heartbroken.
Yep.
Just put it in.
Arrested Development again. God, I hate bringing my daughter to work day. Homer had a line about Homer's toenails looking like Fritos. If anyone's seen Fritos, that's a pretty disgusting image.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't get that.
Fritos are an American chip that are they look like a curled up Dorito.
Yeah, they're pretty...
Okay.
So, and they've got that hyper orange yellow color that real processed chip snacks have. So they're kind of disgusting, but also when I'm drunk enough, put away a few bags of them.
It would help if I knew how to spell Frito.
And also Weird Al Yankovic references in one of his songs.
He sings a lot about food, though.
That one where he's trying to seduce, but he's saying all weird things. Ooh, you smell like Fritos. That's why I'm giving you this hungry stare. Oh, yeah, and for our American listeners, if we've said fairy floss a few times and you didn't know what the fuck we were talking about, that's what we call cotton candy.
Oh, yeah, that was me. I think I was saying that a few times.
So those are Fritos.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Yeah, your nails look like that.
But wait, people eat those? What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Americans eat a lot of fucked up shit, man.
Yeah. You ever seen their breakfast cereals?
They're basically desserts.
They are.
Yeah. I'd always heard the name Cookie Crisp, but I never exactly knew what they were. And then I went to America and saw some. They are just literally cookies that you pour milk on.
Yep.
And eat like cereal.
Yep.
Once saw a jar of marshmallow fluff, and I'm
what
for?
To put on bread.
They mix that shit in their peanut butter sandwiches. They call it a fluffernutter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, America.
Yeah.
I know. Have Vegemite and butter like normal people.
Yeah, have the scrapings from the bottom of yeast barrels mixed with butter, like normal fucking people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what malt is as well. It's like people in the 40s were like, hey, there's some excessive stuff in the bottom of this vat. Tastes good. Let's sell it to children.
I wonder how many things were invented just by people scraping the bottoms of barrels and eating it and going, you know what? I didn't go blind.
It passed the first test. Homer kills a guy.
Which guy?
The scuba guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that.
You didn't mind it?
Especially this tag won't hurt another animal, throws it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. As cruel as it is, like the fish would have been fine, but then the diver as well was just a bit.
I think it gets the laugh for the shock value, and then you think about it and go, ew.
Yeah. I like how Homer and the bear, while they're eating the sausages, they're listening to the news report that says Homer Simpson is presumed mold, and he goes, wrong again, liberal media.
I enjoyed that one too.
Yep.
I liked the map joke where the kill zone was completely surrounding the animal sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
I dug that. And Homer, trying to workshop ideas. No one said you were a male bear.
Yeah. It then felt, it's very easy to criticize, so hard to create. And I'm like, well, that's what we're here for. So
yeah.
Prepare to be criticized.
All right, guys. It is time for the ranking of the things.
You feeling okay?
Nope.
No, I'm a little all over the place today as well. I think because it's International Women's Day, it's doing something to my brain.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe. That's my only hypothesis at the moment.
You're going on shut-off mode.
Well, it's like I got in the car earlier today, and I went in, like, head first, and I sat down like, that is not how you get in the car, Ben. What the fuck?
All right. BT, kick us off.
I am going to go a participant. Fine participant, not like a low participant, but it's okay. I wouldn't avoid it, but I definitely wouldn't seek it out. I'm going to forget all the parts I did like. I'm going to remember the parts I hated, like the stupid octopus.
Yep.
So yeah, for me, that's a participant.
All right, Catherine, what would you like to rank this thing?
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yep.
Participant, it's fine. It'll start again one time. I'll watch it, forget what episode it is, get halfway through, realize, oh yeah, it's this one.
Yeah. Well, we like to say, if you think you might watch it again and you would enjoy the experience, maybe bronze, but if you're still not feeling that hot on the episode, maybe participants where it should be.
Yeah, I wouldn't rank it any higher.
All right. Well, that'll be unanimous again because I'm also going participant. There's a fair amount of okay-ish jokes, but there's just not enough happening in the story to
not
bring
enough
it up.
to drag it out, to the bronze ranking, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's not like there's anything aggressively terrible. There is just a lot of aggressively participant things.
But I think it's very much just meh.
Yep.
All right. It's
definition of meh. Yep. All right. Well, that'll be a unanimous participant. This will also be joining another season 15 episode, The President Wore Pearls, where they do like the Evita parody and Lisa's school something. Mummy Beerist, which we reviewed a few weeks ago, where Marge becomes a new manager of Moe's. Prankster Rap, where Bart becomes a hip-hop dude. Sometimes I just start words and hopefully the lips and stuff will do the work. What else? There are a lot of participants. Girl Who Slept Too Little, My Fair Laddie, the musical about groundskeeper Willie. My Fair Lady, where Marge becomes a Uber driver. Simpsorama, where they do a Futurama crossover. Brick Like Me, the Lego episode.
I do feel like this one's at least standing on top of the heads of those ones, but it's still not breaking into metal territory.
Yeah, honestly, if one of yous went bronze, I'd kind of understand it, but yeah, for me personally.
Probably a mid to high participant, but certainly no.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that about does it for the Teens Era episode for this evening. And now we're going all the way back to season 4 with I Love Lisa. Who's the I? The I is Ralph.
We can pinpoint the exact moment.
And we are back, and we just watched our classic and final episode for the evening, which was Season 4, Episode 15, I Love Lisa. It was first released in February of 93, and it was written by Frank Mueller. In this episode, it's the one where Ralph falls in love with Lisa, I choose you. You know this one. Guys, what'd you think?
Yeah. Does everyone else have a big stupid smile on their face?
Yes. Bit of a tear in my eye.
I know.
I genuinely remember watching it for the very first time. I was in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
And I loved me some Ralph. And my little heart broke all throughout the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just don't think I ever really forgave Lisa, even though now I know. But yeah, I genuinely remember watching this episode, and I think it was one of the first things that I ever properly related to on a little My little kindergarten heart level.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is like this big romantic love story, but it is also still just the kids being kids.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. And I think if there's a downside to this episode, it reminds us how good of a character Ralph was, and makes me so sad that now he's basically just the idiot kid, which is such a shame because he's so good in this.
Yeah, especially because this is like the first episode that they hung a storyline on him.
Yeah,
from.
before he was just, I don't know, what was he before that? Just love that chewing gum walk, very Wrigley.
Yeah.
Just quick one-liners and stuff.
Yeah, and even like as recently as season 3's Lisa's pony, she sure could tame that horse.
Yes, but what man could tame her?
He was like this quippy little background character, but they'd sort of started developing like his stupid background gags, and now we're at the point where he has his own episode.
It's so sad to see him go from this kind of lovable idiot, but in the best possible way, and then later on he's just this. What's a dumb goofball, partly spaz line we can say? Ralph. It's like, it's so sad.
But this one, he's in absolute top form, and I think the innocence is what sort of what I really love about this episode, as he's innocently trying to figure out his infatuation, and also Lisa's innocently trying to figure out,
how to say no and back away from that. And I think both sides are handled really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially at the resolution at the end where they bring in the whole card thing again, and they leave it at a satisfying place where, even Ralph has felt like he can move on now.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I know. Well, we better get into the questionnaire because the heart question is going to take up a lot of space here. But, BT, what is just a story moment that stood out to you for better or worse?
A story moment, I'm going to call it more of a character moment, but that leads heavily into the story. It's when Ralph is in class and he has those great little Miss Hoover moments.
Yeah.
But what I really like is when he's like, I'm not allowed to have scissors. And but you see him kind of stop and smile and kind of look around the class. You can tell he's playing up his own dumbness to get a laugh. And I like that that's an aspect of their character he's playing through. It's like, he's playing up the idiot because he knows he'll get a chuckle from the class from it.
Oh,
but
really?
Then there's these little it's a very quick moment of visual storytelling, but it's like he's not necessarily as dumb as we know him to be today. He's smart enough to know this is how he can get a laugh, and that's what he does. So he's playing up that character, which then of course leads to him not getting any Valentine's Day cards, because who wants to send a Valentine to that kid, even though that's how he's relating to the class. And so it's subtle, but I reckon it's definitely there and it's definitely intentional.
Yeah, and maybe because I didn't notice that, but to that point, because then he gets a big chuckle again out of eating the crayon.
Yeah.
And he also, when he glues his head to his shoulder, he doesn't get a laugh then, which...
Yeah, and he follows up with a ha ha ha. You kind of feel like, is he trying to prompt the rest of the class to say, you could...
Yeah.
Oh, you're not laughing at this one. Okay, never mind.
Even Ralph knew when he took a third bite and it was too many. Damn it.
Learn from Ralph, Simpsons writers.
Wow, I really didn't notice that.
Yeah, we'll watch it again. You can pinpoint the exact moment.
So, Catherine, what's a moment from the story that stood out to you?
Well, two sort of unrelated to the Ralph storyline, but they made me again feel a little bit bad for the other characters. Lunch Lady Doris and her. Just put, where do you want your beef hearts? Just on the floor. You do your job, I'll do mine. I really enjoyed that.
Doesn't look very clean.
And I love Sleazy Apu.
Yeah?
With I love you chocolate box. Like, I think
covered
you
in
will.
dust.
I think you'll spend the $100. And I love when Apu was that just highway robberyman. Like,
yep.
Sensational.
I do. It's like, when it's just like,
yeah, it's actually one where I actually think like they didn't need the tag on the end of that, like the whole discount supermarket next door, the expired baby food. I thought that was maybe didn't need to be there.
I do like the discount supermarket. Somehow Homer has just not noticed it.
Yeah, okay, I'll pay that. Yeah, a moment from the story that stood out to me was the Krusty 29th anniversary thing, which, like, wait, Krusty only been around 29 years at this point? And yeah, actually, early 60s. That kind of makes sense.
Yep.
I actually forget how long ago the 90s were.
It haunts me sometimes to think about.
Yes. Let's not think about that.
No, and neither should you at home.
But yeah, Bart's enthusiasm for this whole thing, and I feel like they never quite resolved Bart's end of the story in this.
Well, I don't think Bart exactly had a story. It was just more, he was just side jokes that just had a continuity. Yeah. So, starting with the candy hearts and There's a great little Skinner reference nod to Apocalypse Now.
Oh, is that what it was referencing?
Yeah, if you're taking up a boat up to Nang River, it's Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Apparently this scene was quite controversial back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it upset a lot of former vets and, not just your easily offended wangs or whatever Homer calls them in that other episode. Yeah, apparently this was a bit triggering for some people, and they complained, and it in some syndications got removed.
Well, okay, now I can understand that. Ignoring that for a moment, it looked great.
I love
the shift in color palette to just let you know we're in a different time and place, and this is like kind of more of a memory color palette than it is a true one. And it looks.
I love a Skinner flashback.
Oh, yeah.
I just love them. I live for them.
Yeah, we've discussed. The episodes where Skinner has like actual power and control, he's awesome. He's so much cooler than when he's this mother whipped, boring. I have no words for it. Hang on, what's the word I'm looking for?
Mummy's boy.
Yeah, just this weakling. Yeah. It's so much cooler when he's like, oh no, gentlemen, you made a mistake. You got an X Green Beret mad.
Yeah,
you're like, ooh, chill.
I love the idea of him having that flashback just over the PA system at school. Yeah. With all those little kids.
Yeah, or when he's
ooh, I broke his brain.
When he's like, I see you got a T-shirt from Mad Magazine. How'd you know it was from Mad? It was 1972.
Yeah, I miss this old routine. And now it's just, oh, mother, that sort of stuff.
To be fair, I don't think you could flog Vietnam forever. But the current evolution of Skinner has not been a good one.
Yeah. But so this episode didn't really have a B plot. So I did think that like the Krusty anniversary special was a good thing to like build up to.
Yeah, it's something that kept the episode anchored.
Yeah.
Just it gave you a central point that all the characters were talking about, even if it wasn't a B plot in of itself. I suppose you could say, it was something that just, tethered the points together, I suppose.
I guess it was also, like, a good sort of fake-out for the audience as well. Like, they're hyping it up, making you think, oh, this is going to be how Bart tries to figure out a way to get to the Krusty thing, but, oh, no, it's just turning out this is what Lisa gets to go to and has the big heartbreaking moment, which we'll get to in a moment. Play count. How many times before tonight have you seen this episode?
Oh, wow. I'd say a Monsters mash worth.
At least 30. I've watched this like so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is classic Channel 10, 6 p.m. because they used to hammer the first 4 seasons in syndication. Oh, yeah. So, I'd say easily 50 times. Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Come on.
Yeah. Like going home. You watch newer episodes and then you watch this one and you just go in like, oh, yeah, I remember. That's why I love The Simpsons. Yeah. Like, it had it all.
Yeah.
Really honestly, how could you choose to ask that question?
Well, I want to be objective here.
Hey, landed it.
Thank you. The characters' integrity are totally on top form, and especially in a time where they're still kind of defining them. Season 4 is still pretty early, and when Ralph had sort of this was representing his actual absolute character shift here.
Yeah, but even in the very beginning, you get some great character work with Homer's forgotten it's Valentine's Day, and he does that to okay, well, what day is this? I can't remember if he says first.
Bacon Day?
Bacon Day? No, that's not a thing. Thank you. Yeah, and then and he goes, Happy Valentine's, and then Bart is like, oh, why don't you go get her a present? Just that kind of.
That's a wonderful idea, boy.
Yeah, where he's clearly picked up. It's troublemaking, but just being in that little shit stirring kind of way. I think that's very cool.
In our second floor of our house.
Yeah, reminding everyone of the geography of the house.
Naturally, you have to tell everyone of the geography of the house. Oh shit, that reminded me of a note I hated from that first one. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, that's how you met Mona Simpson. Homer's mother was like, yes, I know.
So We've watched that episode.
I meant to bring that up at the time, and only just with John, because it was a funny way of reminding us of they have 2 levels. Yeah. By Homer, I'll just get it. It's on the second floor of our house.
Yeah. And just while we're there, a joke I forgot to bring up from that first episode, which I liked, was when Bart first had the e-cigarette and he's like coughing and spluttering and snot's coming out of his nose, and he goes, refreshing.
Like, is that how you felt?
When I first had a cigarette, yeah. I imagine if I had one now, it'd be pretty much the same. But feeling like a Simpsons, Homer and Bart and all the rest of them weren't really in this that much, but when they were just absolutely themselves. And
the amount of pre-laughs I got here were
definitely.
Gold. Like Lisa walks in and says to Marge, he likes me and I don't know what to do about it. And I was like, I'll handle this.
I've heard every rejection in the book.
I like you as a friend. Me no speak English. I'm married to the sea.
I don't want to kill you, but I will.
And if all else fails, 6 words. I'm not gay, but I'll learn.
Yeah, I don't think that line plays that well anymore, though.
No, I think it's all right. My favorite is unquestionably the sea, though.
Yeah, I just feel like no character, even the throwaway ones that just had one line, was in it for a stupid reason.
Yeah.
Like everyone was in it that had a scene, that had a line that was worth being told. And yeah,
absolutely. Skinner as well with the Da Nang thing, and Homer with his advice. And
I think it's a good example of if the character's not there to move the plot along, they need to be there for a joke. So Marge is there in that scene to say, I think you need to tell this boy that you're flattered, but you're just not ready. Yeah. And that's what we get in the next scene, but then we get all the jokes from Homer. So
Miss Hoover was on fire this episode. The children are right to laugh at you, Ralph. Like, just, yes, that's what I like in the incompetence of a teacher. Like, you being horrible, but not being stupidly horrible. Like, just so useless.
Yeah. Isn't this just pointless busy work?
Yeah.
Bullseye. Miss Hoover's just a tired alcoholic teacher. And Chief Wiggum as well was the other one I wanted to bring up in the character integrity, because it could have been very easy to make him look like a harassing police officer, but I think they hit the balance well.
Yeah, his lines in this are great. And also just him from the heart perspective is really, you know, it's a good joke where it's like, riot has erupted in not tonight. But there's the fact that he's like, would you look at that?
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, and that, you know, he was trying to help his boy be persistent, but, you know, even he realizes, he's got it all right.
Yeah.
I think my boy's going to be just fine. So what about the wacky parts of this episode? What were the, like, cartoony moments that stood out to you?
Wiggum's badge getting stolen by the duck, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh my God, I just took a sip of beer and I almost laughed out my nose.
You might need to gif him chasing the duck. Because I love the duck's run animation and Wiggum's kind of waddling. It's beautiful. Ducks
are just awesome comedic props. Going back in The Simpsons, you know, when they're trying to get to the house fire and, ducks are really trying my patience. But they're so cute.
Yep.
And Robot Chicken, I'm not a man, I am 3 ducks in a man costume. Ducks are just awesome comedy, and I want to write a thesis into why this whole scene is not only just ridiculously funny about the duck stealing his badge, but also really moving too.
Yeah.
With poor little Ralphie, at least you guys are my friends.
The ducks just look at the bread and swim away. Oh, God, the hurt.
Like, come on, ducks. Throw the guy a bone or a bit of bread.
This bread seems to have come from a loser.
Yep.
I do like the kind of intentional wacky of the school play just having absurdly high production values.
Yeah, when they were just talking about cutting corners and watering down orange juice.
Like, for starters, the fireplace on stage is real.
Yeah.
And then the bed launches up and has the flag underneath it, and Mount Rushmore descends and sings from the last refrain of America the Beautiful. And
that's what the song is.
I think so.
We're not Americans. We only know Australia, the fucking tops. That's our song.
I'm 49%.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Australia. It's fucking good, eh?
Fucking sick, bro.
And that's our national anthem.
Yeah, now one day it'll be everyone rise to the national anthem. That'll be the end of it.
Yeah, it's an efficient national anthem.
Yep.
Other wacky moments. The play itself. Yeah, it was kind of weird that everybody had a sketch of a play and then full production for Ralph and Lisa's.
Yeah. Although I love the Caretaker President's song.
Mediocre Presidents. Yeah.
That's great.
We are forgettable, occasionally regrettable.
Caretaker Presidents of the USA. Yeah, come on.
I like the Itchy and Scratchy background episode. Oh, you need a heart to live. What?
I'm looking forward to reading that newspaper article.
Yeah, this is like Itchy and Scratchy that I love. Just these simple little stupid things that kind of reference the Warner Brothers violent animations that because lately Itchy and Scratchies are so high concept. They're like doing movie parodies and things.
Yeah, but like
so
badly.
Long.
And this one, it's simple. Itchy rips the heart out, gives it to him. Oh, wait, you need this to live?
Yeah, and it also reinforces that everyone's talking about Valentine's Day, and it's this whole theme flowing through.
Yeah, and especially with a Valentine's Day episode, it'd be so easy to hang too much on this episode about being Valentine's Day, and I think they were actually pretty reserved and subtle with it, and just
Sorry, I just read another wacky moment. I even got the Krusty home pregnancy test. May cause birth defects.
Oh, I missed that.
Don't know how peeing on a stick will cause a defect, but
Krusty found a way.
I love that whole scene with Bart and Lisa. You don't want to know how far I'll go.
I'm prepared to make that sacrifice.
Yeah, the fact that he's parroting the same line exactly. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he's thought this out already.
He really, really wants to go to that show, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which makes me feel bad for him that he didn't, but hey, at least he got a good freeze frame moment out of it.
Yep. And the background joke I also really liked is just Homer's just hanging a framed certificate from a university. He just crosses out Ned Flanders. Again, doesn't draw any attention to it. He's just doing it. And there's a few moments like that in this episode where I really enjoy the fact that it's just there as a visual joke. You don't need to stop and talk about it.
Well, in that one in particular, it was Lisa feeling guilty for him accepting presents from Ralph when she doesn't have any intention of,
You mean stealing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I really like that from the perspective of how both sides get really well handled, as in she does have this guilty moment and she asks an adult, what should I do? Because I really want to go, but I feel like I'm misrepresenting my intentions or whatever. And she's 8. And that's kind of the bit that really brings that back, is that she's not trying to be deceitful, but she's been told by an authority figure that, no, this is fine.
Yeah.
Even if that authority figure is stealing a certificate.
And yeah, a little bit of wacky there. Oh, no, that's a terrible thing to say.
Shut up.
Yes, sir. Poor Homer's conscience. That guy's been through a lot. So how about the heart?
Aww.
Yeah, let's just all together like, so much of it.
So yeah, how about the moment where you see his heart rip in two?
From the very beginning when Krusty comes over and he goes, I'm Ralph, I just start, oh God, Ralph.
No.
And poor Lisa, and it's been building up and they're both going to get so hurt, and that's all I can really, I can't express it in words.
It's like a Greek tragedy. You can watch this happening, but you can't do anything to stop it. You're like, no.
Yeah, I love it. We were studying Greek tragedies, 1,000 whatever years after they were written, and now in 1,000 years they will be talking about the tragedy of Ralph.
Yeah. Who doth bring a woman to a show, and no, she only lets him know there that she does not care for him as though he doth care. And you may even pinpoint the exact moment his heart does rend in twain.
I love Bart's little smiley face when he goes, right here. This is very sad. And I'm just,
I like that. Yeah, that's because he didn't get to go to the show. This is like his extra level of entertainment of getting to record it. Go, look.
It was even set up well with like the fact that Krusty didn't want to be doing the fucking crowd work, and that Lisa didn't want to get noticed in the crowd work. Ralph was the only one excited about this.
I do really like that Krusty bit as well, where it's like, now for my favorite part. What's that say? Talk to the But it's all just teleprompted. He has no idea what is actually happening.
Yeah, to be like, a musician going, now it's time for my favorite song. Playing? Oh, fucking fine.
People are vultures.
But I just love how it's the same length of episodes it's always been, but in this one episode they have such a little time that they need to set up that Lisa feels bad. She gave him a card to be friends with him, but she feels bad that he likes her more. Ralph suddenly decides that he loves her because someone's nice and has given him a card.
Yeah.
And you feel exactly what they're both feeling. And at that exact moment, you see him excited. You see him pass the ice cream. You see Lisa get to bursting point. It all happens. Yeah. And you just feel for everyone at once. No,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And no one's really wrong in this either.
Yeah, I think it's very well handled in that. I think that ice cream scene in this kind of critical watch is really pivotal because that's just her push to breaking point of he didn't mean to, but it's also now my dress is ruined, and it's a good that last little push to get her right on the edge. So when this whole scene plays out, she's just nope, shutting this down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what this whole episode has been leading to. She wanted to be nice to this kid because she saw how upset he got, but involving him in her life meant all this other collateral stuff.
Yep, no good deed, basically.
Yeah.
And no one's the bad guy, and it's just they treat them like little kids.
Yeah.
Fantastic actors as little kids, but they treat them like, little kids. I love The Simpsons. I love old Simpsons.
Yeah, these are the ones that really bring it home. And it is easy to forget after 29 seasons that this is an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And there have been some episodes where I've even said, I know this is meant to be an 8-year-old, but we've been living this character for so many years that we tend to hold them to higher standards. But this one, I think, gets that really, really right because you see that uncertainty and that childlike interest in getting, going to the show, but also not really being interested.
Oh, definitely. And that initial Valentine's Day handing out cards scene, everybody's getting so many Valentines each. Isn't this a wonderful day? And that way that Ralph expresses his pain in that just little, ooh, like, it's killer.
Yeah, picks up the mailbox, just tips it upside down, just to be sure. Oh, God.
You just know he would have been dreading that. It's like when they let people pick people for sports teams in primary school, and I'd like lose sleep over it going, I'm going to be picked last, and school sucks.
And now you've learned just to say no to sport.
I have. But God, Ralph.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's beautiful.
And I kind of like that when Lisa did like take Marge's advice and let him down, and she handled it very maturely, and he accepted it as well. But then, went straight to his dad. How do I get her to like me?
Yeah, and then we get the great little, whether you're trying to win a girl or crack a nut, the trick is persistence. And never lose your cool.
Let that be a lesson to the rest of you nuts.
And, when it comes to your mother, never underestimate the appeal of a man in uniform.
Actually, I don't know if you've seen this episode, Catherine, but we find out later that Clancy and Sarah did get together because he planted meth on her and then had her arrested.
What?
Yeah.
He was just too shy.
I actually kind of like that bit.
Me too.
He's like, I was so shy.
Well, I mean, they're both remembering it as a pleasant memory makes it better. So, yes or no?
Oh my God, we're literally talking about going to watch it again now.
Yep. Would you watch it again?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. We're going to watch it again. What playlist are we putting it in?
Just holidays. School plays.
Yep, school plays, holidays.
Tearjerkers.
Tearjerkers. Great Ralph episodes.
Just Platinum Ralph, yeah.
Yeah. Platinum Chief Clancy Wiggum episodes.
Oh, we haven't got any James Earl Ralph this episode.
I figured it'd be, I'd have to go through so much material that I might have to.
Because I do want to talk about something we quote all the time, which is, so, you like stuff? Followed up by the great line of, doctor said I wouldn't get so many nosebleeds, but just kept my finger out of there.
Oh, poor Lisa.
So a thing we like to do is have either Elliot or another guest of ours, Danny, who can get into a nice James Earl Jones vocal range to read Ralph lines as James Earl Jones.
Nice.
No, I'll see if I can get there.
Yeah.
Simba.
Bah.
The doctor said, because I have to consciously not go to Neil deGrasse Tyson. The doctor said that I wouldn't get so many nosebleeds if I just kept my finger out of there.
You like
Miss
stuff?
Hoover, I don't have a red crayon. I ate it.
Okay, now just we get some. You like stuff.
So, do you like stuff, Simba?
Okay, and now go to Neil deGrasse Tyson for the nosebleeds. In the future, the doctors predict we will have less nosebleeds if we just keep our fingers out of there.
To first find the secret to the mysteries, you must first look in the tongue. So playlist. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Love episodes. Big episodes with big amounts of hearts.
Episodes where Homer has to escape the house to go buy a present.
Yeah.
Because there's another one, I forget which one, where they're upstairs and he has that slow
Yeah. Oh, and there's the classic Flanders serenading Maud. I love how he Christians up his lyrics.
If you think I'm cuddly and you want my company.
That whole scene was so cute with Marge bringing Homer the I love you bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
And, what a cute little family, and then having to listen to Ned.
Yeah, or he just goes, oh yeah, no one makes a big deal out of Valentine's Day, and it's just next door.
Yeah. No, I got to say, because especially new at Simpsons, when they do one of these themed around a Hallmark card days, it's often intrusive to the episode. But yeah, this one was just, I think, really an eloquent example of theming an episode around a day.
Well, I think just because so many other characters were shown to be referencing the day without encroaching on the main plot line, it's just little, you've got Bart with the candy hearts, you've got the radio station mentioning Valentine's Day and then President's Day, you've got Skinner's breakdown. Everyone has this quick reference to it being Valentine's Day without encroaching on the main storyline.
Or making Valentine's Day seem super important either.
Yeah, it's just a thing people celebrate, and if you're surrounded by it, it gets super, super weird.
Yeah. BT, is there anything you'd change about this episode?
Oh, God, no. I don't want to touch a damn thing.
Fair enough. Catherine, is there anything you'd change?
No, it's pretty perfect.
Yeah? The one thing I'd change, and is the thing that really stands out to me as a negative in this episode, is that look, I know we're still in early Simpsons, but even by season 4 standards, this is a pretty poorly animated episode.
There was one bit, and I can't remember what it was, where the animation did look very...
Homer brushing his teeth.
Yeah, was the one,
Yeah, with Flanders' old toothbrush, albeit an excellent joke.
Yeah, a great joke. It was just, he threw it out. Ew.
Yeah, the animation was really poor there. There were a lot
it's
of...
like 2 frames a second or something. It's weird.
There are a lot of inconsistent character models. That weird thing where Homer's like mouth looks really small for a bit. Look, this is just me being pedantic on an otherwise excellent episode, but... So, guest stars of the episode, there was only one. It was Michael Carrington, who's a writer and part-time voice actor, and he played Rex, the...
Oh, sensational.
I did want to bring up Rex. He was amazing. Someone has gotten to you, you deceitful cow.
I mean, so being an actor, Catherine, you come across this type a lot, I bet.
Oh, constantly. They really love themselves.
Yeah.
Well, you got a name for them now, Rexes.
Oh, love him. Love him.
Yeah. How betrayed he was when Ralph got the part. Oh.
I just love the follow-up of just using the blinds for the signal. And it's like, take the boot off, boys.
Yep, and when they were laughing, that was another bit where they only had actual 2 frames of animation that they were jumping between.
Yeah.
Just pointing it out.
Yeah.
Come on. And he also played Sideshow Raheem.
Oh, I love Sideshow Raheem. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Just...
script says I'm supposed to whomp you with this.
I wouldn't.
Right on.
Angry young man.
And that's his I wouldn't is actually something that is in my speech, and I never knew like exactly where it came from.
Just I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many Simpson things are like that, though.
Yeah.
You're like, it
one
probably was
point.
from...
Just where you're hitting the tone of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Musical moments of the episode. We have this awesome book ending with Monster Mash.
So good. Yeah. I was like the excuse for it as well. It's like, why did you play that record, Marty? It's cute because you think of all they're putting aside their evil for a little bit. You played the wrong record, didn't you? Why are you doing this to me?
And then at the end where, they put it on. Here's a song for all you lovers. Oh, damn it. Yeah, a great way to book in the episode. And Monster Mash is a silly little catchy song.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the all-time greats in music history.
Definitely.
Yeah. I want to be, my casket lowered down
I was
while
about to
that's
say.
playing.
Like, I did have Pink Floyd's Great Gig in the Sky, but that's a bit long. Monster Mash, that elevates the mood.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a love song, man. Like, you people getting together as well.
putting aside their evil just to mash.
BT, do you have any other notes?
Well, this orange juice should recoup our funds from fire drill follies. I still don't know when it went wrong. You started the thing with fire drill and everyone cleared out. Some other was right. It was my fault.
And I love the whole watering down the orange juice thing.
And
it was
Scotty.
It was just really evocative of the old school plays where they just sell watered down garbage water.
I do love, one day us honest citizens are going to stand up, you crooked cops. Oh, no. Have they set a date? His awareness of being crooked, like, no, don't do that. Oh, shit, no.
Yeah. And like that it hadn't even occurred to him that honest citizens would start setting it.
Yeah, and just one that got a lot of pre-laughter from me is when they're in the porno theater with Krusty, and it's like, oh no, is this a bust? Yeah, bust. Like, that story is inappropriate for children. Really? I get my pants on in this version.
Yeah.
I just absolutely loved it. That theater had Debbie Does Springfield playing, like one of the most famous, pornos ever.
That they've localized
How are you
just to sell
allowed
more tickets.
to get that into this show? I love it.
It's a golden age.
Yeah, the golden age of porno in the 90s.
Well, I meant of TV.
Oh.
But, sure, golden age of porno.
Fair enough. Any other notes?
I believe I'm out.
You're out. Catherine, any other notes?
I loved when Ralph stormed in and said, "I'm here to play George Washington."
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
And so what, he dresses up as like Franklin Roosevelt?
FDR.
Yeah. Ralph.
And yet he goes on to be so good as Washington.
Oh, yeah.
They should put him in Hamilton.
Totally.
And I absolutely loved when Bart was being a bit of a jerk backstage and Miss Hoover goes, "Do you want to be a maniac or do you want to play John Wilkes Booth?"
I'll be good.
I am not a butt. What do you guys think of the whole Millhouse, Bart, Lincoln, Wilkes Booth story? That was a poorly rolled out question, but what did you think?
It's great. And they got a tussle in the play booth, and you're next, Chester, Arthur.
Very Bart in your house.
Yeah, but just underpin it with that sound effect of the Nerf rifle.
Yeah. I love when he's getting dragged away as well. Unhand me, Yankee.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've yelled that before.
I just love how with old Krusty, it really feels like it was a real show.
Yeah.
Like you could watch clip shows from like Letterman or, Johnny Carson or...
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a black and white graphic with Krusty kind of done in like this kind of caricature, kind of squiggly line thing. I'm pretty sure that's a Carson reference. So, yeah, I think. I don't really know because I was kind of not born then. That's no excuse, and I know.
A sideshow Mel on the Sauce. I just remembered that one.
Everyone's always kissing your ass. Well, I'm not afraid to tell you that you're...
I love that as well. Because I think that's the sort of shit that went down on old 70s and 60s talk shows.
Definitely.
Kind of people whacked out on Wowie sauce anymore.
Or the nose candy.
Even though that's what Krusty does a lot these days, is make a bunch of nose candy jokes.
I mean, he has a lot of wow.
Time for my rapid, speedy note time.
Pew, under, yeehaw. Well, we need new themes because I can't pew, pew, pew because you've done away with rapid fire notes. So.
Yes. The scene at the start where Grandpa's like complaining, stupid Hallmark holidays is just a conspiracy to get you to buy shit.
Well, look, Valentine for my granddaughter.
You know, the envelope. Again, poor Grandpa.
But again, I like that it ties in. It's not beating you over the head with Valentine's Day. It's just showing how people react to it.
Yeah. Just although I didn't eat the Barney and Moe thing.
Yo.
Yeah.
It was okay, but it wouldn't have made the episode better or worse if that hadn't been in it.
It's pretty neutral. You could have lost it. No one would shed a tear.
Yeah. The whole thing with the beef hearts, it's kind of funny, but there's a bit that I don't get about it is that if Bart like popped the thing out of his shirt, wouldn't the kids already be aware they were having hearts anyway?
Well, they were presumably having cooked hearts.
Yeah.
I do like the bit where the truck opens and they all stay there and it's that kind of rubbery.
Yeah. Oh, that was some excellent Foley work right there. Floor doesn't look clean. So yeah, okay. So the joke sort of makes you presume that Bart has gone and gotten one of the raw hearts to freak everyone out.
That's my presumption.
Which feels like Bart.
Which is just sort of a bit of weird staging how they go, he's lining up, then they do the shot of Lunch Lady Doris and cooking the hearts, and then they go to the... it's just a little confusingly laid
Hey,
out.
Elliot, Wizard did it.
Okay. Now that is wholly satisfying. The Itchy and Scratchy cartoon was called My Bloody Valentine. Reference to something?
Horror movie. There's a horror movie called
My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Oh, so the band named it after the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. I'm learning good. I'm learning. So why do they call it a urine monkey?
Oh, I just found out.
I loved how they were peppering in the Krusty clips throughout this episode as well. It sort of gave them an opportunity to do some funny sketches.
Yeah, and it's also, I think as you were saying, this is very indicative of late night talk show because Letterman had a whole thing on dumb pet tricks for a while.
Yeah.
So, bringing on a urine monkey makes total sense.
Yeah. Every time they do that, it makes you feel, so was he kind of respected back in the day and now he's just a children's host? There's so many levels to Krusty.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I guess that's always sort of been a bit ill-defined, so that he can be a bit more malleable and, they can sort of change it to suit the situation.
Yeah, I mean, when he was doing Croon Along with Krusty, where kids respond to Singing the Doors, maybe he started out being a little aimed at a higher audience as time went on.
Well, yeah, because they said that episode with Frost was in 1963, and a 29th anniversary, that would have been, his first year.
We discussed this, and I said no.
Hilarious joke. Mr. Simpson, these tar fumes are making me dizzy.
Yeah, they'll do that.
And another bit that I don't get. He was putting tar right onto old roof tiles.
Well, being the hyper-masculine man that I am, I can tell you that's a good way to weather seal your roof tiles or your ship if you're building a boat.
This has been home improvement advice with BT Calloway.
I suddenly lost my shirt and I'm all Ripley with the musculature.
Next week, re-lacquering your floorboards.
The trick is to lacquer it again after you lacquer it.
That is actually the trick to it. And I do like how Ralph keeps trying to connect Lisa with the original, the card that she gave him. that card sure was funny, you know?
Maybe you should give it a rest.
Yeah. And then he, overreaches with the, I'm so glad you chose to come.
Yeah.
Like, you're stretching it, Ralph, come on. One of my favorite lines throughout the show, and I've mentioned this before, some of my mother's favorite lines, she has a tendency to love, like, the really absurd lines, like, the ring came off my pudding can, or, fuck, what is the one that we mentioned from the last episode? Do you remember?
What from the last one?
There's one thing he can't buy. A dinosaur.
Oh, you mean the last episode of this podcast?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Chief Wiggum's line of, nothing gets chocolate out. See?
I'm going to throw this out there. You want your mum to come on for one of these?
I think it'd be a good idea.
It's kind of funny. I'm on board.
But now I'm worried that we're kind of chewing through all the episodes that has things she liked from.
It's true.
You do a retread special with your mum.
Yeah.
People that do
Mother's
that.
Day special.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get my mum in who didn't like the show.
So, for better or worse. Well. And my final note, and it's a weird note to end on, but it was like weird how Patty and Selma were like really into Ralph.
Now there's a real man. I think they were talking more George Washington than they were talking Ralph.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I was sort of in between. I really wasn't sure where they were going with that, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Either way, I like their delivery.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that's telling you your reaction, but you're essentially an audience surrogate through Patty and Selma here.
Yeah.
But I think it works.
Well, yeah, and it was setting up where all the girls are like fawning over him after it and like trying to get his autograph. And yeah. An autograph, by the way, kids, is what we used to call a selfie. So we didn't used to take reverse camera photos of ourselves. We used to write our names on bits of shit.
Autographs are not a thing anymore.
I'm sure they are. Why?
I feel really old now.
Who do you have an autograph of that's clearly appreciated?
No one.
No one. Oh, okay.
Someone in Bardo. It doesn't matter. She was in a Spice Girls cover band. It was early 90s. Don't worry about it.
I'm now very worried about it. Very curious.
Sophie Monk was there. We were.
Yeah. You were tight. Yeah.
I don't know that I have any cool signed stuff. I know I've got a drumstick with the drummer from Lacuna Coil.
I have the signature from the drummer of Blue Oyster Cult because I went to a gig and he threw it out and it smacked me right in the chest.
Do I have to? No one else is going for. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my season 1 of Invader Zim is signed by the guy who does his voice, Richard Horvitz, I want to say.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was at Supernova and there was no line for his signature.
Oh, and you were like, poor Ralph.
I brought the DVD just on the off chance I got the chance to get the sign, so I did.
It is time to rank this thing. Catherine, what would you like to rank it?
This is one of my all-time absolute favorites. So what is the highest ranking you can give?
All right, so gold is excellent, but cubic zirconia is essential. We're saying gold episodes, they can be the best in the world, but, cubic zirconia are like the essential to the Simpsons experience.
Cubic zirconia, absolutely, for this one. If I was to tell someone an episode, like to explain why I like The Simpsons, there'd be 3 that I'd suggest, and this would probably be the first one that I'd go for. Wow. It's got it all. It makes you laugh, no matter how many times you've seen it. You love the characters. I think it's peak every character. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm going to go gold for this one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's not that I think that, again, because it's the difference between excellent and essential. I just think in comparison to a lot of the cubic zirconias we've seen that this one just has a little bit of room, just for me personally, but totally get the cubic ranking. I just don't personally have it in me. BT?
Yeah, I know what you're saying because it's not some of the funnier ones we've seen, the cubic ones, are like rapid fire, tightly poked, not a fraction of a second is wasted. That said, this one has so much heart, and I think it is so well done as well, that I am going to go the cubic zirconia. For me, I feel like... when the world ends and we are huddled in masses discussing Simpsons episodes, speaking directly in Simpsons quotes, as will be the new language, this one is going to be the one that you tell on Valentine's Day, that you tell about the great romances of our lives and the great tragedies we watch played out on this TV, as it was once known, to a generation who's only grown up on cave paintings. I think this will be one for the ages, and I think it's a great example of storytelling, both, in its visual and how it's done. I like that both Lisa and Ralph go to a parent to ask for advice, and that neither one is in the wrong here. They're both doing what they think is the best thing. and they've just been pushed to this breaking point, and then they have to be in a play together. I think it's a great story, even if it is not as tightly packed with jokes. There's still some, I couldn't live without, oh, so you like stuff? That is like my number one line when dating.
It's the perfect thing to say in an awkward moment.
Yeah. It's the only thing to say. So yeah, I think, this one deserves a Cubics. I feel like this is, if you found out someone hadn't seen this episode, you'd be like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but really?
Yeah. All right. Well, this will be a dull cubic zirconia all around. This will be joining other such episodes as Season 1, Krusty Gets Busted, the first Sideshow Bob episode. Bart Gets an Elephant, that one where he gets an elephant. Bart After Dark, the Burlesque House episode. Lisa's Date with Density, where she starts going out with Nelson. Also Realty Bites, where Marge becomes a realtor. And I'm with Cupid, the Apu tries to make up to Manjula for a crappy
Elton
Valentine's.
John episode.
Oh, wow, that was another Valentine's Day.
Mm.
You can get a little excellent playlist of Valentine's Day episodes going. Oh,
nice.
No.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think that does it for episode 75 of the Simpsons Index. Catherine, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
Awesome. Can't wait to have you back again soon.
Mm-hmm.
And BT, thank you for making the big effort to come here today.
All the way downstairs. Happy International Women's Day, everybody.
Yes, happy International
Women's
Day.
A week after it's happened.
Yep.
Because that's how podcasting works, and we didn't plan ahead.
Exactly. We'll have to celebrate something that they're celebrating next week.
I mean, I'm wearing my Ellen Ripley from Aliens t-shirt in honor of today, so.
What happened today?
International Women's Day.
Oh, right.
I literally just said it.
Get a woman on the podcast. That'll do.
Yeah,
there you
pure
go.
coincidence as well.
What are they celebrating next week? There's always a day. Maybe it's like International Sultana Brand Day next week.
Oh, what a horrible day. Sultanas belong in the bin.
You don't like sultanas?
No.
Oh, what about Bran?
They're the zombie.
Bran, I could.
They're the zombie corpses of grapes.
They're just. No.
Oh my god. There is a zombie movie that hasn't happened there yet.
What? Raisin from the dead.
Ah, you got it.
Call me Hollywood.
Let's get out of here. All right, hit up us on Twitter at Simpsons Index, Facebook.com/The Simpsons Index. That's all the mustard in the house. Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content.
So it was written by Jeff Westbrook. Jeff Westbrook.
Take 9.
Is that a tongue twister?
Jeff Westbrook.
Is that or am I just?
No, you really have to enunciate Jeff.
Jeff
Westbrook.
Westbrook.
You can't Jeff Westbrook because you got Jeff Westbrook.
I'm getting a bit of an Irish wristwatch thing.
A little bit, yeah.
It was first released in May of 2015, and it was written by Jeff. It's the written by.
Take it.
Oh, I liked Bart's. We'd rather have a sissy mincing around the house than a dead hero.
Yeah.
You know, I quite enjoyed that. I'm always going to love it when someone says mincing. So no matter what the context is, I'm always going to think that's great.
Yep.
Doesn't Smithers say it once?
Far too much dancing, not nearly enough prancing. And some mincing would be nice.
Yeah. Sorry, Cletus. One of my notes is Cletus cock joke. As in, he's cocking the gun. But
I specifically wrote the word gun after cock just so I know what I was talking about. Just in case I thought I just wrote the word cock.
And my final note is not my final note. I've got like 5 more.
What a twist. Just while we have this break, so we do have another question, which is if you could have a sandwich named after you, what would it be? Or failing that question, best sandwich?
Right, I'd have just my last name, McDonald's, to confuse people.
Yeah.
Double L, not LD.
So like 2 all beef patties, special sauce, little cheese, pickles, onions on like a brioche bun, just to throw shit.
That'd be it. Just bit McDonald's, you know. And they can't sue me because it's not the same name.
Yeah. What? It's named after you. That's
Times
fine.
New Roman M, you know, on the top of my restaurant. Like.
I like Times New Roman is the way you're avoiding litigation.
Yeah.